Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Saturday. Hope everybody's doing well. Larry, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Happy Saturday. Holiday, welcome in. Javier, good to see you. Hope you're doing well as well. Welcome in. Kyoto, welcome in. Good evening. It's good afternoon for me. It is 1 o'clock Eastern time right now. Lily, good to see you. Hope you're having a nice start to the weekend. Meowdy. Hope everybody's having a nice start to the weekend. We're going to be doing some Ever Crisis today. I originally was going to play some the rest of Dragon Quest. I think we were going to finish Dragon Quest today. But I'll be honest, I don't know. I just don't feel very well today. Like overall, it's been an odd day. So nothing's wrong. Like I feel fine. I just feel off for some reason today. So I still need to do some practice with the guild battle. So I figured I'd just do that, and we'll just chit chat while I'm like, you know, theory crafting and farting around. Oh, sorry to hear that, Larry. I hope it gets better. But yeah, I just kind of felt like just like kind of hanging out today, and I don't want to. I don't know. I'm not all here today for a finale of a game that I very much enjoyed. So I'm gonna put it off for a week, and we'll come back to it next week, finish it up, and go back to it then. But yeah, 7 p.m. Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say, man, the folks in Boston and then the folks in Texas, it's like, it's so fun to see people that are just, you know, humans. Not to say that the people in the United States are not humans, but like, you know, they're not, like, even the guys, the folks in New York. I mean, if you're looking at the celebrations that have been happening in the United States specifically over the last week, like, the New York celebration and the way how like respectful they were, and how the sanitation team was able to clean up the entire city overnight to the tune of like the next day it looked spotless again. Like the folks in Boston having the parties and like doing the pranks and stuff, and like that shit's so funny. Like that's just cool. That's just good fun, man. Like it reminds you a moment. It allows you to ground yourself that like when you're over consuming things online, like real humans are having real lives around us. And it's not quite as fast as the internet is, you know what I mean? It's very grounding. It's nice to be able to look at that and go, man, things are not as bad as it seems. Is it where it needs to be? No. Do we need to improve? Absolutely. But like every once in a while, man, you just had to take a step back and relax, because like the truth is like things are good. We've got a lot more good people than we do bad, and the internet does not give us that perception. So it's nice to see. It's nice to see. Theory crafting revelations? Not today. Not today. I am actually planning a video. I started writing the script for it when I was doing all the reaction video stuff. But I was gonna do a video of like how to get into Final Fantasy VII. You know, because like right now, if you have never played Final Fantasy VII before, which statistically is just true, like there is a lot more people who have not played Final Fantasy VII than there are people who have, right? And so like if you're trying to get into Final Fantasy VII as a series, even the remake series, it can be a little daunting with all like the spin-offs and the sequels and prequels and the remakes and the mobile games, and like, so I thought about making a quick video going over that, and then like kind of piggybacking that into a separate video where I kind of talked about my expectations for Revelations, or Revelation rather. But we'll see about the second video. I'm not sure about that yet. I might do that closer to release than right now, because like right now I feel like it's just like forcing the hamster to spin the wheel that doesn't need spun. You know what I mean? So I'll probably do that closer to like January or February of next year. You know, after I finish my hard mode playthrough of Rebirth, then I get a chance to go back through it again and like really ground my thoughts on the game itself and the series so far, and then kind of give my 2 cents on the matter. I will say that over the course of the last decade, basically since they announced that remake was a thing, that my thoughts and feedback, or my thoughts and opinions on where the remake series has been going, has not strayed far from what Maximilian Dude has posted on the internet. So I highly recommend watching his stuff if you haven't already. I'm sure most folks who play Final Fantasy VII have, but if you haven't, his theory crafting videos are very, very aligned with the majority of my thoughts in general. But yeah, Microcosmos, yep, agreed. Yeah, I think so too, Larry. I think so too. I think it'll be something that would be fun for folks, and if it reaches some folks that have never played Final Fantasy VII before and allows them to like, you know, dip their toe in and see if they enjoy it. I think that's a great way to enjoy it. Yeah, I think it's a great way to well, at least a great way to introduce them to it, right? Because it's really not as daunting as it seems, but it is a lot. So yeah, well, and that's the thing, right, Halder? Like, the truth is that if you didn't want to play the original Final Fantasy VII game, there's one of two things you can do, like reasonably. The one thing you can do is truly just ignore it, because the truth is that the remake series right now, in order to get the maximum amount of enjoyment out of the game and out of the series, it does expect the player to know the events and the situations of Final Fantasy VII Original, Crisis Core, and in my opinion, Advent Children, and a bit of Dirge of Cerberus. But the truth is you could go into Remake and Rebirth having played none of those and still have a pretty darn good time with that game in general. And I think that that's pretty important to like make clear, is that if you wanted to have the maximum amount of enjoyment of the games, it definitely makes sense to go back and play the OG games. But if you don't, and you don't have the time and you just want to get into it, Remake and Rebirth are fine as a standalone project, which is a pretty difficult thing to do, to be honest. It's pretty difficult. So the fact that they've managed to do that and make it so that it's both fun for new players and returning players is a very difficult line to hoe, or toe rather. So I think they've done a good job with that overall. It's actually something that they should be complimented on, because they've done a pretty good job of, like, you know, making it feel good for new players and feel great for returning players, which is dope. Yeah, that's so fair. That's so fair, Vanilla. That's so fair. Because I think the Final Fantasy VII OG story is now at the point where it is, in Ever Crisis specifically, it's at the point now where it is definitely into Revelation territory. So if you're trying to not spoil yourself for part 3, this is the time to, like, just go through the thing and just click skip. An introduction to the world of Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, or Final Fantasy VII Final Compilation. Yep, that's true too. Subsistence, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Gallo, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Hope you both are having a nice start to your weekend. The Yuffie DLC, yeah. Well, and to be fair, the Yuffie DLC, I think people should play. If you have not played the Intergrade portion of Final Fantasy VII Remake, first of all, it's only like, I think maybe like 8 to 10 hours total. So it's much shorter than the actual like remake game itself. But I have a very strong feeling, without spoiling anything, that will be a large. It's going to play a large role in the third game. In a way. Yeah, from the rest of the compilation too. Yeah, it's true. It's true. To watch Advent Children. Yeah, it's a great way to do it. It's a great way to do it. Because that's the thing, right? If you've got it fresh in your mind, like the Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth story, and then you go into it and go play Crisis Core in Final Fantasy VII OG, or go into Ever Crisis and experience it that way, or, you know, and then watch the Advent Children film, like, you can still fill in a lot of the question marks that you would have had while playing the game, right? And that only, like, increases the value of the game, because then you can go back and go, oh, let me re-experience that now that I've played that old game. Let me go see how that feels now that I have this information in this background, and then you get to play through it again, which is dope. Especially since Rebirth requires 2 playthroughs to get all the trophies anyway, so or the achievements rather. So if that's something that you're, like, you know, gung-ho about, now it's much easier to go through, and especially with the boosters that they added to now, so that way you don't have to worry about, like, struggling through the content and stuff. You can just blow through it and have fun with the plot. That's really cool. I've always loved them adding that to the OG game, so I'm glad they're doing it with the modern games too. The Final Fantasy movie before Advent Children? I'm so sorry. Yeah, I bet you were. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, and listen, like, Advent Children is not a perfect film by any means, but it is definitely better than the other Final Fantasy movies. So it is a step in the right direction of improving, at least. Yeah, I meant to replay Intergrade, Lily, and do it as like because that's the only part of the Final Fantasy VII series that I don't have on YouTube. And I meant to, like, record it offline and just post it on my YouTube just so folks can have my playthrough. But then I was just like, man, what do I have time to record 8 hours of me playing as Yuffie? And the truth is I haven't yet. So we'll see if that changes before Revelation comes out. But as of right now, I have not had a chance to sit down and do that. Oh. Watch the quicker you of Dirge. Yeah. Yeah, I think that I probably will play Dirge on stream. I think it'll be here on YouTube though. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that on Twitch or YouTube yet. I think it's going to depend on how far we get in the Final Fantasy Marathon before Revelation comes out. If I get done with everything else, then we'll do it on Twitch. But if it gets close, I'll probably do it on YouTube just to keep it, just to get it done. Yeah, Vincent has a lot of storytelling to do in the last game. A lot of storytelling to do. Oh, did they? Yeah, I know that Hamaguchi has been sharing way too much information. But yeah, that wouldn't shock me. And I had already had that kind of inkling in my brain anyways. It didn't make sense to introduce the two characters, especially the one where he was like clearly the main villain of that game, and like it doesn't make much sense to not have them come back in some capacity. Just like Genesis, I'll be totally honest with you. Like, I don't know about Genesis, but we'll find out. Like, we're not gonna get into spoilers, but that's like, we don't know. We do not know until we tell you, Shelly. Yeah. It's not worth it, Lily. Well, let me rephrase. Kingsglaive Final Fantasy 15 was okay. It was okay. It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't anything fantastic, but it did a good job of adding to the Final Fantasy 15 world. And it highlighted a lot of the problems with Final Fantasy 15, where like Final Fantasy 15, you had to watch a movie, watch a short series, buy all the DLC, you know what I mean? Like all of a sudden you're like tick, and it's just like in order to get the full experience of Final Fantasy 15, you had to spend like $130 at retail. And it was just like not very cool, right? Not very cool. Now that it's all out and you can get it in the Royal Edition, and Kingsglaive is a pretty inexpensive film in general, and I think it might even be free on that Sony PlayStation Plus movie thing on PlayStation. But like that is a lot easier to stomach now because you can get the Royal Edition for like $20 and like have all the DLC except for the Arden episode, which is like usually goes on sale for like $3 to $5, I think it is. But yeah, I mean, now that you can get everything, it's a much better experience than it was on release. But yeah, that's why a lot of people don't mess with 15 that much. Even though when you do experience it all, 15 might actually be one of the best games in the series, and I'm not overblowing that, I don't think, personally. It is very good. Once everything is all put together, it is a very, very good game. But the problem is it took way too long to get it all put together. They didn't let that team cook. Twice, too, because they were also the Forspoken team, and they didn't let that team cook either. It's ridiculous. Conversation for another day, though. Yeah, so it is, it's interesting, Kyoto. I don't want to get into too much of it, because like I know there's some folks that are still planning on playing it, so I don't want to like get into heavy spoiler talk. But I think that your thought is incorrect, and I'll leave it at that for now. And now I understand why you would have believed that, but now I'm fairly confident that that's not true. Too much information is true. It's true. He's just excited. I don't blame him. And to be fair, it's very easy for us as consumers to just not get that information. It's the same reason why I had some people commenting on my videos just like, how did you not see any of the leaks for this, and how did you not see? It's like, dude, I don't go on the internet as much as you people do. Not you people, meaning like you guys here, but like I don't go on the internet as much as the random internet user does. I don't consume 3 hours of social media every day, right? I don't know what everybody's talking about all days of all times and all days of the week. Like, I don't know. And it's just like, he's been doing all these interviews. You know how many I've read? 0. I watched one interview total, and it was the one that he did with Maximilian, dude, because I was just super pumped that he was able to get like an exclusive one-on-one with the director of the game in his fucking house. Like, that was wild. So I absolutely tuned into that. But other than that, I've kept my nose out of it for the most part, just to try to like, you know, experience it the way that I want to personally. Right, yeah. If they're in the DLC, they're in there for a reason. It's for sure. Yeah, I agree, Lily, 100%. 100%. Yeah. And even then, I've actually, like, there was one where I think he had like a 50-something minute video that I was just like, nope, not watching that. That's too much. No, thank you. I'm good. I've been waiting for this experience since they showed the tech demo for the PlayStation 3, which I think at this point was almost 20 years ago. I'm pretty sure. And so, like, it didn't even get officially announced as a real thing happening until 2015. And now we're just now getting the last game, like, next year. And so this will have been roughly 20 years of my life. And so for me, I think I'm good to just wait the 9 months it's going to take for the next game to come out. Yeah, 21 years. There you go. That's crazy, isn't it? 21 years. That's 21 years of my life that I've been waiting for this payoff. I'm gonna relish this, which is why I got emotional at the end of it, man. It's like that's over half of my. That's well over half of my life. That's crazy. That's crazy. I've been hoping and wanting and waiting for this day in particular for so long. And so, like, I don't mind waiting for a little while longer to get the full experience and just go into it and dive into it myself. I don't need convincing at all. Oh no, yeah, I didn't actually watch, like, I watched the cut version that he posted, the 20-minute video. So I didn't actually watch the live stream portion of it. I just watched the edited video. Which, by the way, I know they're never gonna see me talk about this, but like the way that video was edited, where like they respected the fact that, like, obviously he has to have a translator, right? Because his primary language is Japanese. So like they had to have it translated for the most part. And first of all, that translator was fucking amazing. Like she just, whatever she gets paid, it's not enough. The fact that she was able to keep up with both of their conversations in 2 different languages and perfectly like translate it back and forth between them was awesome. But the way that they edited that video is, instead of like having it be where he was like answering the question and then having like the translated version come out like we would see live, they just gave it English subtitles, which was dope. Very respectful. But yeah, once again, shout out to that translator, because she's fantastic, absolutely phenomenal to be able to keep up with the, like, neither one of those two speak slowly. So the fact that she was able to keep up with all that is crazy. Yeah, that was very impressive. Very impressive. Like I said, she does not get paid enough. I promise you that. I promise you that. If there's a trillionaire in this world, she does not get paid enough money. That's where I'm at. But yeah, that was very, very fun to watch, and very, very well done. The editing on that video, the interview itself, they did a great job. That was awesome. Make her a boss in Final Fantasy, yeah, for real. But anyway, yeah. So like I said, I won't dive into a lot of the interview stuff that goes through. I'll probably wait for like official releases with like the, you know, any of the trailers that come out. I'll probably watch until probably 2027. I think is probably when I'll stop, because overall, I went back and watched it again. The trailers that they showed at the Summer Game Fest were not that revealing, right? Most of the stuff, it was obvious things that we would have known, right? Like the high wind and stuff like that, and chocobo travel and things like that. All of that were things we would have known anyways. And so like the stuff that they showed were things that we wanted to see, right? Like the fit system, the Vincent combat, Sid combat, release date, right? And like what the weapons are going to look like, you know, things like that. That's fine. I don't think they really showed that much overall, even though it was a lot in terms of like time spent. They didn't really show all that much in terms of the actual like trailer. So it was dope. Yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of hangover after it, right? There will be a little bit of a hangover after it, to the tune of, like, I have been talking about this offline with the folks around me that I'm close to. Like, I genuinely don't know what I'm going to do once this is done for like content creation and like just streaming in general. But like I anticipate then I'll probably flip to like maybe an RPG that I've never played before, just so I can like kind of wean myself off for a bit and give myself a little bit of a hangover cure. So maybe I'll play like Xenoblade Chronicles or something on stream. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see it and like and have it be over and have the experience be done and then go, what's next, right? And I'm sure, to be honest, like you think it's a weird thing for me. Think about Maximilian, dude. This has been his content since he started streaming. Like, like don't get me wrong, he has a very, very big like foot in with like his fighting game background and experience. And I used to speed run, so maybe I'll go back to speed running for a bit. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't know yet. Yeah, I never ever watch the last trailers. Usually the months leading up to the game, I usually avoid the trailers. I do. If there is a demo and I do plan to play it, I will play it on stream. I did the same thing with Rebirth, where it was just the Nibelheim episode, or the Nibelheim bit. And then you could even like, I think you could even skip that in Rebirth if you played it in the demo. So you could just skip it entirely if you didn't want to redo it again. So from that perspective, like I have no qualms. If they handle it like that again, where it's just like you play the first chapter and then you can skip that first chapter when you get the actual game, I'll almost certainly just play it, because it's not a demo in the sense that it's like a way for you to experience the game and try to see if you're gonna have fun with it. It's the beginning of the game, and then you can essentially, it's not actually transferring the file, but you can essentially transfer that progress over to the main game. So for me, it's like, it's a no-brainer just to play it at that point. Yeah, it's gonna be wild. JD, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Welcome in. But yeah, it's gonna be wild, that post-series depression, because like, again, since they showed that E3 trailer in 2005, when I was 15 years old, I have been wanting them to do this ever since. Like, so the fact that this is finally reaching its conclusion, like, and remember that was when I was like full, like complete head, fingers, toes, all in to Final Fantasy at that point. Like I was like loving Final Fantasy 12 at that point. And like, then they announced this at E3. Well, I think it was E3 was after Final Fantasy 12. I forget. It may have been before. But like, I was all in on Final Fantasy games and Kingdom Hearts games. I was playing Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories on my Game Boy. Like, I was so into Square Enix at that point in my life. And so to have this like actually coming to a conclusion is really surreal. Which again is why at the end of that show, I got emotional, because it's just like, God, it's wild, man. It's wild. 20-something years. 20-something years. Well, don't worry. You'll probably get it in Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm just kidding. Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, the way that they handled the 13 trilogy and the way that they handled 15, those two games, actually all three of those games, 13, 14, and 15, the initial like releases of those three games was like the way that's when people started to lose their hope in Square Enix in general, right? Now, I wasn't one of them, just so we're clear. Like I loved 13. I did not like 14. I'll be totally blunt, but like I loved 15 too. So like, and I loved 13 to the point that I played all three of the trilogy. The second the games came out, I had them day one. Like I loved them, loved them. And so from my perspective, it was like, I didn't see it the way that other folks did. And so when 16 came out, 16 was coming, I was just pumped. You know, there wasn't much like doubt in my mind. But I understand that wasn't the same for every single Final Fantasy fan in the world. And I hope you enjoy Final Fantasy Resonance when it comes out in October. Ishi, welcome in. Thanks for catching live. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well today. Happy Saturday. They need ports at least, minimally. I don't even know how much of a remaster they can do with those games. I mean, there's some like static backgrounds that they could probably improve. But like some of the you guys have seen it when I've been playing Final Fantasy 13 live on Twitch and the VODs we posted here on YouTube. That game still looks good today. The particle effects still look really good. The fights themselves look great. The enemies look really good. Like the enemy designs are still really good. Like I said, there's some things like you could improve, like the grass, I guess, and maybe like some of the backdrops and the static backdrops. But like even then, it's very very well done, especially for the time period that it came out. Because remember, in the mid 2000s or the late 2000s, there, it was basically just Xbox pushing out anything that people actually wanted to play between 2006 and 2009. So it's for Final Fantasy 13 to come out and be that graphically like wild looking is insane. Square will be done with Final Fantasy 7. I agree. That's what Ever Crisis is going to be for. Yeah. Yeah. Because remember that we still don't have the Before Crisis plot yet. So like we're still pretty far out from getting any type of like conclusion for Final Fantasy 7 Ever Crisis. I sincerely doubt that we'll see Ever Crisis stop anytime soon. I mentioned that in a post. I think there was a comment the other day where they were just like, and they weren't like implying that it was going to close, but they were just like, you know, the game could close tomorrow. And I was just like, yeah, you're absolutely right. But like, I don't think it is. We'll see like the focus in Japan go wildly better than it does in global before we have to worry about anything with End of Service and Ever Crisis. They will continue making Final Fantasy 7 things in Ever Crisis because Nomura and Katase are involved with that project, and they will continue to make things with Final Fantasy 7, which is their baby, for as long as they can. They will continue to do it until Square Enix tells them they can't. They did the same thing with Union Cross. That game survived way longer than it should have. Way longer than it should have. And it was super fun the whole time, for me at least. So I imagine Ever Crisis won't be any different. Yeah, 13 has aged very well overall in terms of the like graphic fidelity. So yes, I do, Halder. Yeah, I think that Final Fantasy X is great because it is a true turn-based system versus the other games which are ATB system, and I think you can make it so that it stops. I think there's a way to like you can do the wait system instead of the active. So when you get that gauge filled up, you can hit wait, and then it'll stay on those menus and let them make a choice before the next action goes off, which will slow the speed down a little bit. But Final Fantasy X has a very well understood plot. It's very, very well done in terms of the writing when it comes to the character development, and the actual like dialogue is very easy to follow. And so like those things are easy for a young player to understand. And speaking from experience, I played Final Fantasy X when I was 11. So, and that was my first Final Fantasy game, and it got me into the series. So I suppose selfishly and you know, like personally speaking, I would say that it's probably a very easy game for them to get into, especially because it's like, it's been remastered. So it's got a very modern paint on it. So it'll be a little bit easier for the younger folks to swallow, right? Versus the retro games. But and then if they're interested in the series, they can choose to either go backwards and play some of the older games or go forward and play some of the newer games, and there's a lot to choose in either direction. So yeah, I think 10's a great place to start. Yeah. Revelation will have to be out and out for a while before they let Ever Crisis close. I will be shocked if Ever Crisis closes within a year of Revelation's release date. I would be shocked. And I mean that sincerely as somebody that has played basically every single Square Enix like Final Fantasy related gacha game, except for Brave Exvius. I have played like most of the other ones that I can think of. There may be some that I missed, but like I have played Crystal Chronicles, Jesus Christ. I have played Record Keeper. I have played the War of the Visions. What's War of the Visions? Yeah, I think that. Yeah. I played them for some level of some amount of time. Dissidia Opera Omnia. You know, the Kingdom Hearts game, the obviously Ever Crisis. I've even played Dissidia Dualcellum or whatever it is, the one that's currently out, the fighting game that I think would be so good on PC, but it is just okay on the phone. But as somebody that has been like pretty engaged in Square Enix mobile titles that are Final Fantasy related, we have not seen any of the warning signs that we have seen over the course of the last 10 to 15 years that I would make me even remotely concerned that Ever Crisis is closing anytime soon. An animated series would be pretty fun. Yeah, it would be pretty fun. It could be. Yeah, there is a lot. Ishti. Yeah, I think that it's a double-edged sword, right? Because you have to have a way to let the top tier players that are spending in the game continue to have fun and find a way to like squeak out more damage and use weapons in unique ways. Because eventually it becomes a point where they're just using the best build, and like having no other options is just not fun for those players. But they also had to release things in a way that was meaningful for the new players, because whether we all perceive that in the community or not, a large portion of Ever Crisis right now came in because of the Final Fantasy 13 and the near crossovers and second anniversary with Sephiroth. So like from those 3 months of events, we had like a flood of new players, and like releasing the same weapons that we had been getting, but just like a little bit stronger, like maybe a tier stronger or something like that, was not going to be enough to keep the top level players happy. And we wouldn't have pulled, talking like me and you, because we were day one players, right? We wouldn't have pulled on those banners, because why would we, right? We already have those effects, those items, those weapons at their high overboost levels. And so now, from that perspective, now a new player is able to come in, get single target damage received up from new banners, get outfits with Gear C abilities that give them a boost, and they'll be online and participating in more active content than they would have otherwise. So like, I definitely understand the perspective from both sides, right? I understand why they're doing it this way, and I understand why it would be overwhelming. Where in me, I'm just kind of like, I'm just having fun, so I don't really care, you know. For me in particular, I don't really care. I just you know, put the new set on and move on. It is what it is, man. Because that's like the you know, it took me forever to get used to elemental materia that had a sigil on it, right? I mean, that took me ages to get used to, and that was the like better way to switch, and that was just materia switching. So I definitely understand it, but yeah, from my perspective, I'm just not pressed. It didn't bother me personally. If Ever Crisis can do the same, I think that it probably won't. Specifically for the shutdown point, right? I think if it was on the way to it being shut down and they were just keeping it open so people could experience the plot, like you could download the game and just experience the plot in like a cutscene sense, right? Which is likely what they would. They did the same with Union Cross. For folks that don't know, they kept it open for like, I think 18 months after it closed, so that people could just have it downloaded on their phone and like be able to play the story bits. At least they play the cutscenes at least. But if they plan to bring it to console at all, which at this point I think it's probably not impossible but not very likely, if they plan to bring it to console at all, I would argue that would mean that we are very far off from it being shut down. Like very far off from it. If they announce a console version of Ever Crisis for 3rd anniversary, we are at minimum years before they shut this game down. At minimum. But yeah, with Ever Crisis in particular, because I understand the point that you're making, where like Brave Exvius is kind of the base of the plot that they're making here. There is no base for Ever Crisis outside of the First Soldier plot, and so from that perspective, like the only thing they could do would be to make a game where you control like the first soldiers, and I think that they could make that game. I think that they probably would make that game if there was enough interest in that. But I'm not sure that we would see that. We'll have to wait and see. But they've never say never. I didn't think they'd remake the game either, so we'll see. I love Crystal Chronicles. Yeah, I miss it. Yeah, cheers, also. I hope you're doing well. Happy Saturday. Hope you're having a nice start to the weekend. But yeah, whether or not they do that, I mean, your guess is as good as mine at the end of the day. But when it comes to the actual like full complete game itself, Final Fantasy VII, Crisis Core, Advent Children, Dirge of Cerberus, those games all exist, and movies in Advent Children's case. So there's not much for them to make. Again, unless they actually make a full game around the First Soldier plot. But again, I'm not sure there's enough there to make a full title around that. But again, I'm not them, so I wouldn't have guessed that Brave Exvius would be getting made or remade into a full-blown game. So, and we would have been wrong about that. So, time will tell. But yeah. All that to say is like I'm just having fun, man. Video games are fun. That's kind of where I'm at. Video games are fun. That's good enough for me. It's good enough for me. Yeah. We'll keep yapping, but I'll boot up Ever Crisis now. I feel like I've been yapping for enough to at least open the game. But from my perspective, I'm just glad that there's so many people that are like hyped about this experience too, because like I'll be honest, over the course of the last 10 years, I have been, remember that I've been looking forward to this since I was 15 years old. So like, this is something that is very, very exciting for me, regardless of what happens, right? Regardless of if this last game is good, regardless if Ever Crisis goes down the toilet. Like, I have been looking forward to this Final Fantasy VII compilation experience that we are currently having for so much of my life that at this point, I'm just glad it's here. I don't really care. I'm just glad it's here. Yeah, I do think that Before Crisis is probably coming. I don't know if they would do it for 3rd anniversary, like if they think it's that big of a deal, like they did with Advent Children. But I imagine we'll see Before Crisis before the end of 2026. I imagine we will. Honestly, since you said it was the Dirge of Cerberus Part 2, I mean, they just now finished Dirge of Cerberus in general. So, and this was episode 3. Yeah. So, I mean, they just finished Dirge of Cerberus. And then the rest of this has just been kind of like cool events. Like there's currently a Neo Bahamut event coming out right now, that I thought was pretty cool. I actually love the design of this Neo Bahamut. I think it's super cool. But other than that, I mean, the banners have been pretty much the same. I mean, the damage banners have like utility effects included with them, which is normal for any kind of like power creep in a gacha game. The supportive effects have all been the same kind of like single target damage or all target damage received up, but now they're dipping into like the elemental part of it now instead of it just being physical and magical. So we're seeing fire, wind. I don't know. We haven't seen water yet, have we? I think it's just fire and wind. There may have been another one that I'm forgetting that has like an elemental received up, but that's basically been what we've seen so far in terms of like the actual static effects. And we've seen other things like, you know, Vincent got his chaos outfit, which is pretty sick, and it's just like, again, the same boost and bonus, the boost effect that we've seen already, but it's higher than the other effects that we've seen. We've only seen it going up to 40%, except on ultimate weapons, and this gear has it at 60%. But like, it's still an Omni Arcanum, it's still 15% HP, it's still reprieve, like it's all the same stuff, right? Yeah, isn't it sick? It looks so good in the game too. They did a really good job with this. They do a good job with all the outfits in this game, but yeah, this is sick. If I had enough resources to like justify pulling for this, I 100% would. 100% would. I love this. I think it's super cool. But yeah. Yeah, I listen, I know it's probably not gonna happen, and I'm willing to accept that it is probably not gonna happen. However, I would still love to see Cisne as a playable character. It is featured, yeah. Yeah, Cisne would be so good, dude. I like her character so much, and I think it would be so fun to have her as a playable character. I do. I think it would be super fun. But yeah, no, this is a featured outfit, and I think when it came out, we won't get it for the 3rd anniversary voucher, but it'll absolutely be choosable for the 3.5 anniversary voucher. But yeah, it's pretty, and it's just really good. So it's really good. Yeah, I think that they've been slow burning the summons, because we even have seen like, we haven't seen, I went to enemy abilities. I'm so look at how like old pilled I am. I'm so used to just having characters and summons here, and I clicked right here because that's where summons used to be. Anyways, we don't have the dual summons for Wind and Earth yet. So Titan and Odin don't have that. We're feeling this right now in the current guild battle, right? We don't have a way to like consistently improve our wind potency for physical teams unless you pulled on one really featured banner in February, or if you have a limited weapon from the Ever Crisis Academy banner for physical teams in particular. So people right now, like I've done some testing on my own offline, and I've seen a couple of videos online from the folks in Japan that are playing, and I've seen folks using Red 13 with the Brilliant Collar. I saw the couple of videos that Vidal posted that had Red 13 on a couple of the teams, and like, there is a way around it, but right now physical wind is in a real bad spot, like a real bad spot. It needs like featured pool support or a summon to get the wind potency up for that team, because right now it is not consistent and it is bad. Like, and that's an old buff. Like, that's an old buff that we don't have access to, that are all like, we've got like selfish ones with Vincent's outfit, and Sephiroth's weapon is a selfish one as well. But like, we need a team-wide wind buff that is a like physical focused support character, right? Whether that's, you know, Sid, Lucia, Kate Sith, whoever it is, somebody needs a physical support weapon that can boost wind potency, because right now we don't have it, and we desperately need it. desperately need it. But to answer your question, Kyoto, that's the reason why I think that like we're probably going to see the dual summons for both of these coming out. I think it's probably going to be with Neo Bahamut. I think it's a pretty safe bet at this point. They put a lot of effort into those animations. That seems pretty likely that we're going to get Neo Bahamut as a summon. So it wouldn't shock me if we also saw dual summons with Odin and Titan with Neo Bahamut. Yeah, Cisne would be so fun. Yeah, I don't think there's nothing wrong with the Omega Sephiroth outfit, and I'll be honest with you, I only ever pull on this game if it's like something that I think is very strong or something that I really like, right? And so like in general, like I mentioned before, I think this outfit is sick, and I love the sword. I think the sword is super cool too, but the outfit is sick. And honestly, Sephiroth is a character that usually comes in and is supportively supporting the team, right? I hate to say it like that. How do I phrase that better? He is generally supporting the team, right? He's coming in with Muramasa, he's coming in with Kikuchi Manji, he's, you know, those are his like big adds to the game. And there were only really 2 weapons before this one came out that were really doing any amount of DPS at all, and that was the water weapon that he has in his featured pool, and then Shiranui from 2nd Anniversary. So like typically Sephiroth was usually coming in and being supportive anyway. So the fact that his second thing gives your entire team 20% extra damage, it's not good in like the typical sense of what we would consider a good DPS outfit. But in terms of like if you're bringing in Sephiroth and he's supporting your team, like is it that bad? Probably not, right? It's not bad. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's just something that like the Skier C ability is not something that I think is something that's super useful right now, because we only have 2 AoE wind or ice weapons that are even like able to take advantage of this outside of obviously the summons, which is, you know, a different conversation. But like the C ability on this is not something that we can utilize in a major way. I think Omega Wing being 5 ATB is strange, even though it's for the most part not relevant, because we're using this in like 2.5-minute stages where the 60-second ice or ATB cost is going to put this in a range that it's not quite as bad or quite as hard to swallow, because then you'll have your overspeed pretty close to fully charged at that point. So you'll be able to even get it at 1 ATB by that. But like, so like in terms of like, if you say that this is like, is this bad? Like, no, it's not. So if you want it for the aesthetics, just pull for it, man. That's how I feel about everything in this game. This game is like, no matter what I say about like any gacha game or Ever Crisis in particular, the truth is that what that person posted about this game could close tomorrow is 100% true. So like, why not do the thing that brings you joy? If you think it's fun, man, just pull for it. It's all good. It's not going to hurt your account. It's not going to ruin your day, right? It's fine. We'll find a way. It's just like I cleared that Escalation 20 with like no Wind Arcanum and using Short Barrel as my main DPS weapon. Like, we'll find a way. We'll figure it out. Yeah, new summon, right? Yeah, and that goes back to Kyoto's point. We're like, you know, there's Phoenix, Hades, the Knights of the Round. I mean, there's so many summons in Final Fantasy VII. I forget how to say the name. But like that one was in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth too, and I can't remember the name of the Titan, the big boar guy. Anyway, it's not important, but that's not in the game yet either. Like there's a lot of characters, there are a lot of summons that aren't in the game yet. There's a lot of content that they could still do. A lot of content. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that they could do still. Hell, they could add like a full-blown Coliseum, because we haven't done like the battle arena rather, because we haven't done that yet. That's a thing that can happen. So there's a lot of stuff that they could still do with Ever Crisis. A lot. Many things. Bahamut summon for the Advent event would have been cool. Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. And they did put a lot of effort into that summon too, so maybe one day. We'll see. We'll see. Mostly water DPS. Yeah. Sephiroth's biggest problems, quote unquote, is that all of his power is in his limited stuff. But if you've pulled on his limited banners before, and like this is like one of the 3 banners that you've pulled on, you've got enough like investment in Sephiroth that this is going to be just fine. That's the truth of it. That's just like the current young Sephiroth banner that's out, because there's some folks that are like upset that they don't have the resources to pull for it right now. And I was like, man, if you got the Omni Arcanums for Sephiroth already, you're probably fine. That weapon does so much damage on its own that the extra 20% that you're getting from the actual outfit itself, I mean, it's still 20%, right? The physical ability damage that you're getting, which is nice. And like this extra 50% buff is a lot, but it's only 30 seconds long. Like, it's not that long. Like, and yeah, and with OB10, you'll be able to cast this twice and get 60 seconds and that's a full minute. But like, it's still only a minute. And so like, is that better? Yeah, so of course it is, obviously. But like, are you still going to be able to clear content without it? 100%. So who cares? Who cares, man? That's like I'm still torn on whether or not I'm going to pull this Tifa outfit just because I like the outfit. I wouldn't use this. Like there's almost no situation where I would use this outfit And so from like a usage perspective, why the hell would I pull on this? I already have Soba at OB6, which already does this. And Sephiroth's outfit is better than this one, just in general. So like, why would I pull on this one when I could just have Sephiroth's, then just use Ice Sephiroth that I already have? But I like the outfit, so like I might pull for it. We'll see. Yeah, cheers. I appreciate it. I appreciate you popping my live stream too. Oh, I didn't do my free pull. Oops. That's so funny. I did the ad one on my phone earlier, and I didn't do the actual free pull that we got. That means we're getting 5 stars right now. I knew it. And it's gonna be Nocturne Horn, right? Damn it. Oh, well, I tried. All right, let me toy with this for a bit longer. So for folks that didn't see the video, which I assume that most folks had, but for folks who haven't seen the video, I have basically thrown any chance of me using wind in this fight to the wind. No pun intended. I have absolutely no intention of using wind in this guild battle. I may change my tune after a couple more rounds of practice here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use the Red 13 team that I know I won't be able to use because I don't have his ultimate weapon. But I want to at least see how difficult it would be to keep that buff up if I have Aerith as a primary healer and then Red 13 coming in for the wind resist down and the wind potency up. Because otherwise, Tifa's pretty much got like everything else that she needs. Yeah, I agree. I agree. But I'll switch over to like the other combat gloves for the AoE and Feeble. I'm going to switch Zac out for Red 13. And then maybe the amp healing would be helpful here, but probably not. We just do the this one's probably the better one. Maybe Diamond Dust. Sure. Sure. Baby Ross new ultimate, yeah. Well, and I'll be honest with you, if you have his UW1, the Genji blade, and there's an interrupt phase, the total DPS difference between the two of those weapons is I think it's the same in the interrupt phase. Obviously outside of the interrupt phase it's not, because the new weapon has an Arcanum that gives your entire team 30% more damage. So like that is significantly better outside of those phases. But in the actual sigil break phases, or in the interrupt phases in particular, he gets 60% bonus damage, and 60% bonus damage is exactly what the new weapon gives. So it's and to be honest, the what is it? It's bonus, right? Yeah, it's bonus. So like this bonus effect that you're getting, we have this on weapons already, right? Festive Rod is doing this at 30% already. That'll be 10, but like the Festive Rod is doing this, Kikuchi Manji is doing this, so this isn't that important. This is where the damage difference is. It's 30% for your entire team across the course of the fight. That is a significant difference. But Genji Blade is not so far off in terms of like what it's providing for the R ability specifically, because it's giving you 60% damage. Yeah, the haste all and the dragon claws. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It definitely makes a difference for sure, for sure. But yeah, for just DPS reasons, it's fine. It's fine. It's not great, obviously, but it is fine. Yes, I think so. Yes, I think so. I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure it was, which is wild because like that. I think that ultimate weapon is still by far and away like stronger than everything else we've seen. And I'm not even very sure it's close. If I can be blunt, I never remember what these damn collars look like. That's the one. And then we'll do Brilliant Collar. I guess I'll do the diamond customization on this. Because I don't think this does anything for me right now. We'll do the diamond customization, I guess. Yeah. There's never a point in fooling after the outfit. Unless you're paying to get the weapon to a higher overboost level. If you're anything light spender or below, you should never pull after an outfit for a featured banner. Never, ever, ever. Okay, and then I don't have any of his ultimate weapons, so that'll have to do. So I am going to bring his Hellhound outfit because this is giving that single target physical damage received up. I'm only going to get one cast of this, so I'm going to have to be pretty choosy about it. But we'll try it at least. I suppose we'll give him wind stuff. I don't think he'll ever cast this, to be honest. But, we'll keep it there just in case. And then I'll give him a heal. Just as a backup. This will work. And then just maximum DPS stuff. Physical attack on allies. Attack on allies. DVR ability stuff. And then defense. I don't know if I'll actually need the defense at this point, but more a creature of habit than anything else. Yeah, I talked about that at length. I even posted it here on YouTube because I had a feeling that some folks would be interested in hearing what I thought about it. But I will say that if I am not of the mind that it matters to me all that much personally. Because if I was like 8 pulls off of the Red 13 stuff, I would just go back and just pull on the other banner again. Like, it's not the end of the world for me. Like, yeah, you're missing out on a bit of power, but like if you were planning on pulling to an ultimate weapon anyways, like you're getting the power out of the ultimate weapon that you would have gotten from the outfit, right? So like it's fine in my opinion. It's a good trade, and I'm saying that for like if you're at like 7 or 8 pulls away from the Mako gems to get there, like. And that ultimate weapon, Red 13's ultimate weapon, is very strong, and we're seeing how strong it is in this current guild battle. And it will likely be strong for a while because of the Gear C ability used for the entire team and the Torpor and the elemental potency. It's a lot. But like, in my opinion, if you're saying that I have to pull 8 more times to get an outfit or 8 more times to get an ultimate weapon too, I think almost every single time I'm just pulling on the whatever banner I like the best for the ultimate weapon too. Unless the outfit is that good, which like Sephiroth's current wind banner is pretty good. But like the current wind banner, if I could be totally blunt, if this guild battle has not done a good enough job of showing people that damage is not what physical wind needs, I'm not sure what will. Like, if you are looking at pulling on the Sephiroth banner hoping that your physical wind will improve in some meaningful way, this guild battle proves that that will not be the case. We need support for physical wind. We do not need more damage. We have a lot of damage options for physical wind. We do not need more damage. So yeah, from that perspective, even like if it was the last Red 13 one, I wouldn't pull down that banner anyways. I would have went back to one of the other ones because I would have been like, it's not going to help me anyway. Why would I pull on it right now? It's not worth it. Oh, nice. Yeah. If you've got one for each character, that's dope. Yeah, super cool. All right. And then for this, this is correct. Abraxas, sub-equipment's all good. Yep. I haven't done the guild customization yet because I'm waiting to see if I'm even going to use the wind weapons. At this point, I may not even use the wind weapon stuff. Absolutely. Which is why I'm trying this, but like I'm going to be totally blunt. Without Red's ultimate weapon, I don't think this is going to work very well. But I'm going to try and see what happens. Am I on stage 5? Yeah. Okay. I don't have Circle Sigil here either, but I just want to I want to see how hard it is to get him back to that HP threshold. Because he's got to be at 70% to get the HP threshold back to where it needs to be. And so my thought here is to start with Aerith, do the Red 13 one, and then just boost it up with Tifa. And just do it twice. Because this will keep me at +1 at least, and then maybe I can get it back up. Take out the ads here. Defense. So this shouldn't do that much damage anyway, because we've got +4 defense now. So this should be a significant less hit. Yeah. Not bad at all. And he's up there immediately. Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so this isn't that bad. It's going to be the sigils that's a huge problem. Because obviously, ideally you would not be controlling Tifa at this point and like controlling one of the healers to make sure that you're getting all the like buffs and debuffs that you need on. Because now we're going to lose our stuff again here. But I'll do better with the sigil phase when I actually try this. So keeping our HP high with this build is not terribly difficult, which shouldn't be. We have 2 healers, so if it was, I'd be a little concerned. But yeah, Tifa didn't even cast enough in this, and I would have used the ultimate weapon here too. Okay. All right, so that's not terrible. So I think that's probably the call then. We would use Bahamut Rod first, then the Brilliant Collar to get the wind resist up, or the wind damage up, and then just 2 casts of the detonating blow, and then just control one of the healers. We'll see how this works. I'll be completely honest. Most of my testing offline has proven that, like, oh, and again, if you have all of the fire stuff in this, I don't have it to test it to be sure. I am telling you with almost 100% confidence that the fire build will be so good in this fight. So good in this fight. They have so many options, and if you have the Aerith outfit and the Zenithian blade and all that fun stuff, if you've got all that stuff at high overboost levels, like, you will be fine at doing the fire stuff here. I feel really confident in that. Yeah, perfect. She'll take out the ads. And then ideally here with Aerith, we would have Circle Sigil Break now. Yeah, Baron Red 13 need better banners for sure. For sure. Yeah, the imperils are really important nowadays, especially if you're free to play. Like, imperils are a way for you to get around barriers like this guild battle has, right? Yeah, Barrett definitely needs some love in his feature pool for sure. He needs a limit break weapon just in general. Like, Barrett doesn't have a limit break weapon yet. He has a crossover weapon, but he doesn't have a limit break weapon yet, and he desperately needs it. Desperately needs it. But obviously here we would have a bit more damage coming through because of what's it called? The bonus damage that we would get from the Aerith Circle Sigil. Because remember that the Sigil Break stuff here is not terribly hard to get to max out. And the damage here will be lower anyways because I haven't been actually focused on my DPS either. And my wind potency is completely down. Yeah, this is where my problem is going to end up being, is like min-maxing this is just not worth it for me. Like, because right there, Tifa wasn't doing any damage because her wind potency was down, and I didn't see it because it's so far behind in the buff bar. Like, I couldn't see that Red 13 hadn't been casting it. Yeah. And from my perspective, it's just not worth it. No, that's a crossover weapon. It wasn't a limit break. It's his only limited weapon. Or, well, it says he has 2 limited weapons. But yeah, both of those were not limit break weapons. Because if it was a limit break weapon, it would be added into that limit break metal draw pool, right? And none of his weapons have. Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see how this one works, and I can see what the actual, like, what the win condition is here. But it's too much min-maxing for me. I don't care about the guild battle enough to go through that much effort, to be brutally honest. And I don't think that the damage number is going to be that much better than what I can do with the water team anyway, so I'm probably just going to play the water team. Just figuring out which one of the 2 water teams, the one with Zac or the one with Cloud, is going to be better for me. Yeah, I know. I said that. Yeah, and I had the heals going on. But then the first one we showed that, like, it's very easy to keep that HP number high. But the problem isn't that my HP wasn't high enough. I didn't see that he didn't use it on semi mode to get the wind potency back up when we got into the actual phase, because there are 17 buffs and debuffs on the bar. And I'm certainly not going to sit here and try to min-max this in a way to try to make sure that the 15th buff on the buff and debuff bar is a positive one and not a negative one. Like, I'm not going to put myself through that. And I don't think most people should. It's too much stress for what, right? I was talking about this offline too. But like, when you look at the difference between what you get for getting top 100 in a guild battle and like 500th, you're still getting 1,300 of these guild medals, and I've got 5,000 that I haven't used yet. And these guild medals, I exchange them for the parts, but I haven't used them on anything because I'm waiting to see if we even want to use them on anything. But yeah, if you come in 500th place, you're still getting 1,300, and the person that's coming in first is getting 500 more. It's not the end of the world. This is significantly higher than what we used to get anyway. What were the guild medals in the first year and a half before they updated this? Wasn't it like 200 to 300 or some shit like that? It was really low. Really, really low. And I don't use these pristine mithrils. I don't use these branding stones at all. Like, the participation trophy that you get, which is the guild medals, the rare guild medals, and the crystals, is the only thing you should really be concerned about with the guild battle. Unless you're pay to play or you're a light spender and you want to try to like min-max this, by all means, if you think it's fun, go for it. But otherwise, don't stress yourself out over the guild battle. Guild battle is not something to be stressed about at all. Yeah, that's definitely the best part. Yeah, that's the best one. It should do a pretty good job because you can get I forget which one has. Yeah, if you had Barrett instead of Aerith. But Barrett, I think his win weapon is Circle Sigil Break, right? I'm pretty sure. So you can get that first one maxed out really quick, and then you can get through that first sigil phase really fast. So like you're probably not going to need the I clicked Angeal instead of Barrett. You're always stressed. Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, it is Circle Sigil boost. So yeah, you would get that circle filled out super fast, and the ads would go down super fast too, because this does a decent amount of damage, right? With wind resist down and wind potency up. Like this is a solid weapon to deal with the ads, and you only need 50% HP anyways. So like this is not something you have to be worried about your HP thresholds at all, in my opinion. And plus the offhand weapon for Barrett, if you're not well, I guess what would you be using? Probably Fafnir rifle, right? Which gives Veil. So like you'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. You'll be fine. And you get a physical defense buff too, so you're actually not going to take that much damage anyway. If you're using Fafnir in the offhand, that should be fine. Yeah, you should be fine then. You should be fine. Because by the time you actually start taking damage, you're going to be breaking the sigil phase anyways. And the primary DPS tools on your team don't have HP thresholds that you need to be worried about, right? So if you're looking at like the Tifa team in particular, the physical attack buff is a 50% one, so you should be able to meet that just fine. You shouldn't have to worry about that. The physical defense down is like not, well, that physical defense down is obviously relevant here, but this doesn't have an HP threshold at all. And then the physical weapon boost is not no HP threshold, right? So yeah. Oh right, yeah. With the spade customization, the physical weapon boost, yeah. But yeah, that's what I was running, was Falchion for the AOE wind damage, and then this as well. But none of the effects on Zack's weapon have an HP threshold at all. So the only two HP thresholds that you're worried about are Fafnir rifle, which is 50%, which is more than high enough to deal with it, and then Tifa's, which is 50% for the physical attack increase. But again, both of those are very easily met. You should be able to keep 50% of your HP after that first hit. Because after that first hit, you're basically not taking damage again for the rest of the fight. At least you shouldn't be. So yeah, if you've got that all in a decent overboost levels and everything, yeah, you'll be absolutely fine with the skill battle. Absolutely fine. You got Safari Pokemon to catch? That's totally fair. And it's like I said too, right? The reason why I go into these guild battles and try to find like alternative teams and better ways to like play around it for people who are, you know, just trying to like have fun with the content, is so that folks that are watching can get an idea for the things that they have and have fun with the game. I already know what I'm doing. I'm not playing with wind at all. I'm using that water team. I'm telling you right now, I'm using the water team. It's happening, man. It's happening. Even on the water team, I have Zack with Falchion still. At least right now. I don't know if that'll stay, but I'm like right now I'm letting Zack deal with the ads. And it's perfectly fine. I have no issue letting Zack deal with the ads and just having a little bit of buff score reduction. And obviously with Aerith, I don't even need her to have the exploit weakness effect because I have Zack on the team now. So I probably might even steal this festive dress for the ability potency all allies for more damage. But this is actually, isn't this a physical defense down? I forgot about that. They gave this a C ability with physical and magic defense down all enemies. This is really good. Yeah, I might use this instead to get the magic defense down too, so the summons do more damage. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I might do that. Yeah, Zenithian sword for Zac from the Dragon Quest banner is the one that you would have to have right now. I don't think there is another way to do a fire in peril right now. But if you have it, like, it's obviously that's the joke, or that's the choice for sure. But yeah, cheers, Holler. I appreciate it. I'm glad it helps, folks. And again, like, when I make my content, it's more just like, remember that I only started making Ever Crisis videos to help the folks in the cat crew, like, know when to pull on stuff, learn how to make builds, like, clear content a little bit easier. That was the only reason I started making stuff to begin with. And that's why I did videos on the guild battles. That's why I did, like, it was so that they didn't have to watch my live stream or talk to me directly. They could just watch the video and be done with it. Yeah, no, that's the only way that I'm aware of. But hopefully they rerun Dragon Quest soon. 40th anniversary and all. I think it's a great idea to rerun the banners. And it's a Square Enix owned IP, so I won't hear the, you know, it's not Final Fantasy, so it won't get rerun. It almost certainly will. Karius, thanks so much for the 9 months. Welcome back. Appreciate the continued support. Hope you're having a nice start to the weekend. Thanks for the membership. I appreciate it. But yeah, that fire team is like, I bet you that fire team's probably outpacing the wind team right now. If you had me bet, I bet you right now that that fire team is doing significantly better, because there's a humanoid one for fire, right? Doesn't this do humanoid damage or extra? And this thing is a humanoid, right? Yeah, 100%. I bet you the fire team's outpacing it right now, because they're getting 20% more damage from the Memoria anyways. And that team already does a insane amount of damage as like a base form. It's so strong. So strong. But that's why my water team's working too. It's giving me physical defense, which I need. It's giving me the 1,000 physical attack, and I'm getting the bonus for humanoid damage. So I'm getting a 20% boost. I am losing out on 190% wind damage, but not completely, because I'm still using Falchion. So it's not a total loss. But yeah. Yeah. Probably mock this once here just to take a look. Oh, right, I forgot to change Aerith's outfit. That's fine, though. Fine. But yeah, probably just do the same thing. Just stick in semi, put it on target the enemy here. Debuff, or buff extension, or buff increase rather. I'm surprised he's still just using Water of Blow. Maybe because he has the sigils. Maybe I should take those off of him. Yeah, maybe I should take that off him. Yeah, well, and I think that it's really good in the sense, you know what? I should just let Abraxas hold me up there. I shouldn't even change to I should just let Abraxas heal me there. Yeah, this is actually a good example where Evil Bane is like, it's helpful because it helps increase the excess wind damage for the ads a little bit. But other than that, it's not actually doing all that much. Yeah, I think if I let Abraxas hold me up there, I don't think I even worry about the second bit. Because I don't think we even get to the second hit. And obviously, Sephiroth was too focused on taking out the ads there versus actually taking out the thing. I should have used some of Aerith's ATB too. But that is no problem. I think we can fix that. .05%. Hog. I can put the this on too. Oh, she used it on the side. All right. So yeah, I need her to have triangle sigil here and not circle. I went to defense mode anyways. It's force of habit, sorry. Let's use all this. It is a good ad for it, yeah, it is. It is. But again, like the imperils are only as good as your other teams are bad, right? Like, I say that with all sincerity. I don't mean like your team is bad in the sense that it's a bad team, but like it's only as good as your weaknesses are is a more accurate way to say it, right? The more you're weak in certain areas, the better the imperils will be. And this is a good example of like what those weaknesses are, right? Yeah, this was a much better fight. So we're immediately getting out of this. And then Sephiroth's just dealing damage now. Oh, he went to the side because I'm not targeted. Lamau. Oh, and I don't have boost on here either. A couple of inefficiencies here, not a big deal. Clean that up before the actual attempts come through. Don't have Enfeeble either. I think that was the reason why I was like him and Han with using Cloud here instead. Do it again. And then use Zack's ultimate weapon to get it boosted up again. Yeah, so this obviously wasn't very clean either, but I'll switch the materia off of Aerith, and that way she's able to do Triangle Sigil as well to help get that stuff broken down. Yeah, 14 million is not a lot. More than I'm doing with the wind stuff, though. It'll take some playing around with. And like I said, I think I'll let Abraxas carry me in that first bit of the fight, and let it just take me down so I can get back up to my HP thresholds. Because if I can break that Sigil break phase pretty quickly there, I shouldn't have to worry about damage after that. Like how much damage I'm taking. Yeah, 2%. It's not good, but it's better than what I was getting with the Wind team, so that's likely where I'm going to be. Like I said, I usually clean this up before the official attempts come through, and I'll record it offline again like I did last time, so I could lock in a bit better. But I think this team will work just fine. Because I didn't even have good water resist down effects there during the Sigil break phase. I didn't have weapon boost on. You know, there's a lot of variables that weren't 100% accurate. I didn't use Evil Bane again for the ATB conservation. That's another bit that I was missing out on. And plus 3 ATB too. Yeah, I forgot about that. It's probably worth opening with this anyways, just so that Sephiroth can use his ATB a bit more efficiently. And then I need to make sure that I get water resist down and use Abraxas with that so we can get the AoE stuff. Yeah. That won't even be like a try thing. I think I'm just gonna do that. That's just gonna be a thing that I do. But yeah. No reason not to with a massive decrease to physical defense and magic defense. And then yeah, Zack should be able to handle him himself overall. But yeah, shouldn't be too bad. We'll see what I end up doing. Oh well. I was wondering. I was like, why are Zack's stats so low? That doesn't seem right. Well, that makes more sense. Oh, Christ. See, I'm not perfect, y'all. I try, but I make mistakes too. Oops. Yeah, that'll probably help quite a bit. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's way better. There we go. Not bad. Oh, yeah, I'm missing a gear tier too. There. Not that matters that much, but still. Yeah, well, again, I don't think that this will end up being like anything super crazy anyways. And I'll play with this a lot offline to make sure that I'm efficient with my attempts. But I think we had the general expectation in our guild is that all of us are not going to have fun with this one, and we're just going to kind of put our attempts in. That's kind of the expectation. and then just unclick this. I wonder if I don't switch to defense here, is it even going to kill me? I'm at full health. It's not. Huh. Maybe I was taking more damage from the ads in the last couple fights. Maybe that's why. Oh, it used it on the side. God, I hate semi. Christ. Doesn't actually matter. It's fine. Yeah, I go through and do all the brands and stuff before the official attempts go through. I don't like to waste resources until I'm absolutely sure what my builds are going to be. Probably use Zach's ultimate weapon there just to get the summons back up. Doesn't look like we'll get it up off in time. And I'm pretty sure after this attack goes off, the timer just runs out, right? Just takes too long, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so use Zach's ultimate weapon during the end of the last phase there. Just get one of my summons off. But yeah, that was, what, double what we got last time? She's got Kimura Wand and Festive Rod are her current two weapons. Just for the physical attack up, though. 5%? Yeah, that's better. That's better. Yeah, so I'll probably finish somewhere in the 8 range because I'll clean this up a lot more and get it to the point where I'm feeling pretty comfortable. But yeah, and that's totally fair. I actually just did because I noticed while I was editing the video, I noticed that there were a couple of Yuffie weapons that I still had at 80 that I hadn't leveled up yet, and I was going to do the rest of those today because I'm only 134 points off. So I leveled up something like this to like 110. Which, like, I'm comfortable still getting things to 110 because it's still just using mithril ore, and you can see that I have quite a bit of mithril ore at this point. That, like, it doesn't really hurt me to, like, level it up to 110 and just get the buff score a tiny bit higher on some of the weapons. Like this one. But yeah, I'm very stingy with my resources. Yeah, no, I totally recommended not to level weapons to 130 unless they had a 56 in this second slot, because that was the only thing that mattered, right? And there will be weapons where getting it to 140 will help your builds in particular reach certain breakpoints. But for me, going from 31 magic attack to 33 magic attack is not going to make or break any of the builds that I'm using, like, at all. So from my perspective, it's easy just to, like, get it to 110, use the mithril ore, and just, like, sit there and wait. Yeah. Yeah, no, I am. I've got 3,000 of the ingots right now, so I could get, what, 30? Well, I think all of them, right? I think all of them are 120 if I wanted to. Just about. Yeah. Yeah, I can get 318 weapons to 120. But yeah, it makes it easier when I pull on something that I actually want to level up. And then if it was something that I actually cared about, like, maybe if I was missing something off of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? The battle rankings, the dungeon rankings. If I felt like I was, like, competing for, like, a top spot, then I would probably take everything in my build and max it out. But from that perspective, the only thing that I'm getting from that, from leveling up Partisan to 120 as an example, is more magic attack, and that's it. Right, it's just getting it up to whatever the max magic attack is, which right now, I already have good brands on this anyways, that has it at 757. And so, like, is it a little bit more magic attack, and would it help squeak out a couple bit more damage, and maybe it gets me up a placement? Sure. But, like, how frequently does that happen in Ever Crisis, where, like, you're just, like, a couple of points off? That's why I have so many resources. And it hasn't stopped me, man. You know, all the solo stuff, I've been top 100 in all the solo stuff for the last, basically since second anniversary, I think. So, it may. Yeah, I'm bad about the high win buffs, admittedly. Let's see. Because it does cap out eventually, too. That's just OB20 or OB10 abilities, character quest episodes, top floors. Which one is it? Maybe the champion belt? No, this is max damage challenge, yeah. 5-star materials. This is gear. Player level, or character level rather. Guild exchange. Is it just the individual characters then? It's probably just the individual characters then, eh? Total damage dealt. Cloud's maxed out. Yeah, I mean, there are only a couple of characters that I'm not maxed out on here. So I could get one up for Red 13. I could get one up for Barrett. I could get one up for Kate Sith. I could get one up for Sid. What? Yeah, you see, I'm only one off. Like, it's so that's what 0.1%. Yeah, you know what? I'm good, man. I'm all right. I'm good. No problem. Not gonna worry about that. Nope. Now, again, it is 0.1% each time, so like it does add up. But for me, I'm good. It's not a big deal. It'll get there. And then each one is like gonna be a little bit different. Like this one, I need 3 to 120. This one, I need 3 to 120. That's gonna be pretty common, eh? 4 to 120. 4 to 120 for Red 13. But my resources. Yeah. And again, like I said, if you're trying to min-max for like max battle challenges and you know, damage rankings, battle rankings, etc., that's totally fine. That's totally fine. I actually really like the battle rankings and the dungeon rankings a lot. I like those challenges a lot. But guild battles, I don't respect. The difference in resources is not good enough for me. The fact that it is a team effort, not just an individual effort, means that I don't have to do like that level of min-maxing, because like at the end of the day, we're all gonna be whacking these things together. Then it's just, yeah, it's not even worried about it. You know? Yeah, I deserve that. Yep. You're probably right. But you know what that is? Time. And time is more valuable than any resource in Ever Crisis. And as much as I would love to sit here with y'all and go to weapons and change this to ascending and just go to every single weapon that's at level 80 and put it up to 110, you know how long, or 120 even, you know how long this would take me? I'm good. I'm good. I will do it as it is relevant. Because it's way easier to do it that way than it is to like go through this manually and just upgrade all this stuff to 120 or 130 or whatever. Yep. Well, 130 and 140 I've been pretty vocal about since they released those two effects. And the only things that I was telling people originally to get up to 120 were the effects that have all allies. Because at that point, when you're doing the all allies effects, the level 120 guaranteed that you were getting the level 3 break even on OB0 weapons. And for the all allies effects, that's the maximum that you can get from one of those effects anyways. So I was always recommending that any of the all allies weapons go to 120. But anything that it's the regular stuff, the only things that I upgraded past 110 or even past 80 were the things that had the high second R ability. That was it. A charity incentive? That's not a bad shout. That's not a bad shout. We raised to $500 for extra life and I'll upgrade my weapons to 120. That'd be pretty funny. I'll give you that. It'd be pretty funny. Just sit there for an hour upgrading weapons. But yeah, you can see most of the weapons in my account are like, and you'll notice too that a lot of the weapons in my account that are at 120 are relevant items, things that you would use in a fight. So like Centipede, I've used a lot. Prime Number, I've used a lot. Nautilus Spiral, we got to 120 for free. I think this was at 110, but that's at 120. Any of the all allies effects that we've gotten, I've had at 120, at minimum 120. Holiday Revolver, we used for that first guild battle. I think we had 120 at that point, so I had this up at 120 to help with the first Earth guild battle. It may have just been for the R abilities too. Who knows? But yeah. Yeah, like I said, the like electro cannon and an enemy launcher, the thing that gets this physical ability potency up to 56, this makes it so that you can use 2 of the 56 boost to max out magic ability potency or physical ability potency, so you get the full 80%. That's a 10% boost. That's a lot, right? It's not like a massive number, but it is still 10% extra damage. Until we started seeing things like, you know, Enliven and Torpor and single target damage received up and stuff like that, that were all of a sudden saying 10 or 50, 40, 50, 60, 80%. 10% was a lot in Ever Crisis like a year ago, but that's since changed. So that's less important nowadays than it would be otherwise. But yeah, anything that you'll notice that a lot of the weapons that have 56 R ability for the second R ability, I've gotten to 130 already, because I like to have that that option when I'm making my builds. I value that quite a bit in my builds. Yeah, 100% agreed. 100% agreed. That's why I was hoping that like eventually they would do some customizations where we could like boost, even if it's like by 2 points or something like that, where we could like use a brand to boost one of the R abilities by 2 points. I think that would be a super fun way to have like brands be interesting again. Because right now it's basically the sub weapons are all getting relevant like physical or magic attack, and then offensive weapons are getting C ability potency, and then nothing else is being used. So it'd be nice to see them like evolve the brand system a bit. And customization is awesome, and I like the customizations that we've been seeing, and there's been some creative ones, but I'd like to see them get a little bit more creative too. Like, you know, give me a club customization that increases my second R ability by, you know, 10 points. I don't know, something like that. Probably the same thing as it is now, just a stat increase, and then the second R ability would go from what was it before? It went from 52 to 56, so it'd go from 56 to 60. Is what it would do. They've been pretty consistent with how this has worked with the upgrades, with like what 120 to 130 meant, what 130 to 140 meant, and so I expect that will be pretty much the same. It'll just go from 56 to 60, and then the 42.1 would go from 39 to 42, and then 42 to 45. Right, and same with the top R ability. When they eventually do 160, it would go from 49 to 52, and 66 to 70 would be the next upgrade for the top one, and then 33 to 35. They've been pretty consistent with how they've done the upgrades from each 10 bracket. So yeah, I expect that would be very, 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 very similar, unless they do something wild and they go like after you get it to 150, you get an extra materia slot. That would be cool, right? Especially because materia is actually becoming more relevant again, right? Like we're actually using breach materia now, and there's a point that we're actually getting close to the point where like regular breach materia, the thing that lowers physical defense, and that bravery materia that we've never used might actually start coming into play with all the new buffs and debuffs, and maybe we'll use things like the breach materia for the old debuffs. I don't see a reason why we wouldn't. It's not like Aerith and the other healers or even the supports are really using materia for anything but stat sticks right now. So giving them the ability to put those in and like have them be useful would be pretty cool. Maybe you have like a support all allies materia, like a like a materia ability. You know how you have Asuna all? Maybe we have like debuff all or buff all. That would be pretty cool, right? You change it so that bravery is an AoE bravery instead of a single target, and you change breach to an AoE breach. Lots of things they could do. Lots of things they could do. Yeah, character-specific or role-specific accessories would be cool too. Yeah, I agree. Kind of like when they did Ultimate Weapons, right? And Ultimate Weapons weren't like taking over weapon slots. They gave us just an extra slot. It was just an extra slot for an extra effect. You know, that's something really cool that they can continue to do and continue to add. Just like they added like Gear C abilities in October, right? Like, it's and we still have a lot of old outfits that don't have Gear C abilities yet too. So there's a lot of stuff that they can do with the game still. Right now, my only real concern is getting something with physical wind weapon boost, or weapon bonus rather, or weapon potency. God, let's go through all the names, Gary. But yeah, something with the weapon potency for wind, for physical, needs to be in the feature pool. So like if that isn't a banner next week, it definitely should have been. Like there's got to be something over the next month that they add in for physical wind, because physical wind is in a rough spot. Really, really rough spot. Yeah, I think which Dragon Ball game is it? I think it's Dragon Ball Legends that does something similar to that, where they have like supporters that you can pull in the actual banner while you're pulling characters. It's an interesting idea. That's the thing with the gacha games too. There's so many directions that they could take this, and so many directions that it could go, that like, I mean, even P5X has revelation cards that customize how certain characters play and like what their bonus effects are that they get from the cards. And it changes how you play with the characters, which is pretty cool. And so like, there's other ways that they could definitely put into the game that would like increase customization, increase flexibility, increase creativity, which is pretty important for the longevity of a gacha game. But like them just in giving us more options, right, has already proven to be a huge benefit. Because like I said before, this Tifa weapon is not one that I need because I already have Soba. But now between this effect, which obviously the weapon itself is separate from that. I'm talking about the outfit in general. This effect I don't need. But if you didn't pull for Soba at that 2nd anniversary, now you can get ice weapon boost on an outfit at maximum level without needing an OB10 Soba. And this is on a gear instead of a weapon, which frees up a weapon slot, which is proving to be pretty necessary nowadays, right? Which is my point with like the bravery materia and the breach materia. I feel like we're not far out from getting a healer weapon or a supportive weapon that has like a buff all allies or debuff or buff debuff all allies or all enemies. I feel like that's coming soon. The revelation fits would be cool too. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I do think that the reverse will probably happen. I think we'll see some Ever Crisis influence in the in Revelation. At least I hope so, because some of the outfits in this game are way too way too good. They're way too good to not just feature in like the actual full game. Like they put, I've talked about this a lot during my review videos, but like they put way too much effort into these outfits to just leave them locked behind Ever Crisis and never use them again. So I hope that they utilize these in the new game. Oh, cheers! I appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're having a nice start to the weekend. Sorry, I got a leaf blower going by. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the guild battle itself, and that's kind of where I'm at with Ever Crisis too. I don't know, man. Game's fun. I just have fun. Game's fun. I don't have the tools for that one, unfortunately. I have like the base set of it, so I could like at least showcase it. But I don't have the overboost levels for it to actually like get to a point where it's actually clickable, right? So like the problem with mine is I would need Festa or Gorgeous Rod at OB6, or Gorgeous Staff at OB6 for the Gear C ability use. Which I don't have. And then I would need Zack's Sword at OB6 to really get the maximum benefit from Zenithian Sword. And I'm only OB0, and I'm not going to waste weapon parts for it, to be honest with you. But getting this to OB6 would get this up to 30%, and that's the same. I think that's the max, is 30%. So getting it to OB6 is all you really need. But yeah, I don't have this at OB6, so I can't really get the maximum benefit from this. So the truth is that this would not be a good representation of what this team can do at all. At all. It's very good. Like, it's very, very strong. But I just don't have the tools at the overboost levels that you would need. And then obviously Tifa would just be her festive gloves and the AC gloves, right? So it'd be festive gloves, main hand, leather combat gloves off for the enfeeble all. And then this would be the Gorgeous Staff. And I guess Karura Wand, right? For physical attack up. Oh, no. Zack would do Surfer Blade for this. So it'd be Surfer Blade. And then Zenithian Sword. And you would just ditch the Enliven. That's probably how it would go. Something like that. And then this would be the Festive Rod and Gorgeous Staff. Which one is this? Is that Attack Allies again? It is. But yeah. That's what it would look like. And then obviously Spade customization for this. I don't have to tell people that though, right? For the boost. Yep. Yeah, I love Final Fantasy. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun to enjoy when I don't have people barking in my ear how bad it is. I had to see, I think, 2 videos from somebody that was just like bashing on a game, like, and it was clear that they didn't understand or didn't connect with the way that they were trying to tell the story, or the way that they were trying to like you know, share the information with the player. And that's this completely subjective thing at the end of the day, and that's totally fine. But when you start saying, when people start like preaching subjective things as objective facts, I could not have a bigger pet peeve. I could not have a bigger pet peeve. Which is why you'll hear me say, like, at the end of my sentence when I say things, and I'll just be like, kind of explaining my thought process and explaining why I think it's good, and then just go like, you understand what I'm saying, right? Like that when I'm saying that, I recognize that the thing I'm talking about is subjective, and I'm having a conversation with the people in the chat or the people in my comment section, right? I'm not trying to like spin off like, oh, this is the best thing. If you don't have wind potency, this is the only way to do it. No, it's not. I just showed at the beginning of the stream, you could definitely do it with that wind team with Red 13. I'm just not going to, because I'm a lazy fuck, and I don't want to have to min-max my buffs like that. I'm not doing it, man. It's just too much effort. And for what? Nothing. Yeah, festive gloves are really good. They're really good. I don't think that's a waste of weapon parts at all. Strep throat. Funny. That's sick. I used to call Meganium from Pokemon Silver. It was Meganium, I think is what I said. Because it was just Mega and then Neum. So I was like, Meganium. And then I heard it in the the show, and I was like, oh, I'm stupid, never mind. In fairness, I was a child, but like still. No, so the only thing that show up in the limit break draws, like these ones in particular, are things that are specifically limit break weapons. Zenithian Sword is a crossover weapon, so that will not show up here. That will not show up here. Ever, I don't think. Unless they change their minds and they decide to put the crossover weapons in here, which, to be honest, I don't see a reason why there shouldn't be a crossover banner at all. Like, I don't think that many of the crossover weapons are so wildly powerful or overpowered that people can't just, like, for every 10 pulls you pull on the banner, like, you get one pull to pull one of these. Because, like, the truth is if I use these 4 medals right now, the odds of me pulling 4 Crimson Staves is much higher than it should be. Much higher than it should be. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But that's the reason why, like, when I tell people that they should pull at least once on those limited banners, the crossover banners rather. That's the reason why. Because the truth is like, at least we'll be able to use weapon parts on that, and I don't use my weapon parts for anything other than upgrading those specific weapons. The only difference, the only recent example that I have that I did not listen to that logic was for Zack's weapon, because I didn't want to pull on that banner anymore. Because I wanted to go get Tifa's ultimate weapon instead. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's actually the joy of games that don't have voice acting, right? You know, I know that there's a couple of companies that get a lot of flack for still being like all text, but I learned so much vocabulary from playing video games as a kid. Like in the first rival fight in Pokemon Red and Blue, off to the left, after you beat him, he says not to dawdle, and I had no idea. I was like, I think I was 6. I was like, I have no idea what that means. So I went and asked, like, hey, what's this word mean? And like every single time I'd come up to a word I didn't know, I'd go and ask what the word meant. And so I advanced my vocabulary quite a bit. And although my vocabulary has been spiced up a bit as I've gotten older, that's because I enjoy using sentence enhancers like fuck. It just feels good, right? It feels good. It's like a nice whiskey. You kind of go around, you smell it a little bit. You're like, it smells a little sharp. And then, you know, when you first smell it, you're just like, ew, I don't know if I like that. No, you do after a while. Drinking's a terrible example. Don't drink, kids. But yeah, I love voice acting. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I really enjoy voice acting, and I think voice acting has come a long way since the early days of voice acting in terms of voice direction in general. I don't think the actors were worse back then, but voice direction at the companies has improved quite a bit. And now we get like experiences like these new Final Fantasy games, like Expedition 33 is a wonderful example of a game that feels lived in. It feels alive, right? Like the characters feel like real people, the environment feels real, the people, like the culture feels real. And like those things were not things that happen in early video game design at all. So it's come a long way. Yeah, the texting game I still think is pretty important. Like certain games, I'm gonna take some flack for this if any of Pokemon fans ever hear me say this, but I don't think Pokemon should ever have voice acting in general. I don't. I think it's fine that the anime does for obvious reasons, but I like that, you know, a game that is clearly aimed towards a younger generation is like still helping kids learn to read, right? And while this may not be a worldwide issue, I don't know how many people know how like the oh my God, the illiterate rate in the United States is. It is way higher than it should be for a country like the United States. And so if there are any ways that we could like cheat to try to get kids to learn how to read, I think we should still. That's just my 2 cents on that. But would I be mad if it had voice acting? Absolutely not. I think I'd be pretty excited, to be honest. But like, I don't care that it doesn't have it. Yeah, George Carlin's pretty funny. They really are. They really are. You know, and it's a lot of, there's a lot of like reasons for it, and we don't have to get into that today, obviously. But like any way that we can help improve those literacy rates, I think is pretty important. So yeah, if a game like Pokemon has it, and then, you know, people and kids learn how to read because of it, or get interested in reading because of it, I think that's a good problem to have. That's the same reason. It's the same thing with Star Wars, right? Like people love Star Wars so much, and then they dove into the Star Wars novels just because they wanted to learn more about the universe. And like, imagine these kids and like the, you know, whenever the first couple novels started to come out, these kids that are into the series just going in and reading like these huge, like adult focused chapter books that they wouldn't have otherwise read. It's pretty important. Yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of reason for that, right? But and obviously, like, voice acting in video games is not one of them. Just so we're clear, I'm not blaming voice acting in video games at all. But like, it's nice to have some fun and some fun alternatives to just like forcing them to sit in a classroom and, you know, smacking a ruler on a chalkboard. It's knowing that it's being able to have fun with the craft is pretty important, especially in art form, right? Yep. It's very important. It's very important. Yeah, and with all due respect, I mean, you see the effects of when they don't get that like foundational piece, right? Because you'll see people that have like difficulty communicating with people because they don't know how to have like difficult conversations, because they don't have that emotional connection with like characters that they've read about or had the therapy sessions that they needed to actually get to understand their own feelings before they have those conversations. And so you'll see people just like screaming on the internet and bashing their head against the wall because like they've been told one thing and they have no way to know that like what they're reading, what they've seen with their eyeballs isn't necessarily the full story. It's tough. And it's tough that we have like so many people around the world that take advantage of that and like exploit that fact too, which is like another conversation that we don't have to have today. But it's sad, man. It's sad. It's too bad. And hopefully before the end of our lives, we'll have at least like left enough of an impact to improve that for folks, because, you know, it's only fair. They shouldn't have to live a life where they can't read and comprehend like difficult to read situations, right? And it's no different than like somebody coming into a Twitch chat and just being like, I love you. Bitch, you don't know what love is. Shut up. God. It's so funny. God, I've been online for too long, y'all. And you know what's hilarious? I actually didn't have access to high-speed internet until I was, in college, basically. When I had like free access to high-speed internet, it was college. And so I've only been online for like not very long. I'll put it that way. Not very long. So like, for me, it has been a vast learning experience to be online and see like all the people and like all these different like thoughts and feedbacks and criticisms, and you know what I mean? And I learned a lot in the first year I was in college. So it's a pretty wild world, man. Just don't play enough video games. It's true. It's true. Yeah, I always have subtitles on movies. Always. Whenever we watch movies, we don't watch movies very often, but whenever I watch a movie, I always have the captions on. Always. because it's nice to have something that engages the brain like that still, you know what I mean? And honestly, I get so bored in movies, it's nice for me to have something else to do. Yeah. Secret of Mana, yeah, it's a great example. That's a great example. Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. And that's the cool part about any of the games, right? Like even in the modern games, it's not like you have to have the voice acting on. You can just mute it. So, and you can like experience it the old school way if you want to. Though, you know, whenever I think of like voice acting in Final Fantasy, for some reason my brain immediately goes to Ben Starr. And like it feels like such a shame to not hear Ben Starr voice act, but you can choose not to. And just read the subtitles, and that's totally fine. You can always do it, that's true. That's true. English to do video games? Yeah, that's cool, man. That's awesome. The movie with Ever Crisis? Yeah. Yeah, I tend to try to be engaged, because if I'm watching a movie, it's usually because somebody else is asking me to watch a movie. And I would feel pretty bad if I wasn't engaged with the movie and be able to have a conversation about it afterwards. And I would definitely not be engaged with the movie if I was playing a video game while I was watching the movie. There are some exceptions to that where there's like Slay the Spire is a good one, where Slay the Spire doesn't require my like full attention span. So I could do that pretty easily. But stuff like Ever Crisis where you have to be kind of engaged, use your ATB, stuff like that. Like you can auto battle, sure. But most of the stuff that I would be playing in Ever Crisis during a movie would need my attention, and I would not be paying attention at all. But yeah. Man. Is there any real reason for me to wait? I guess I should wait until the Vincent stuff gets added today. Because getting this to high overboost is kind of important. I wish I had this weapon, man. This would be so much more fun to use in this guild battle. Having the stat debuff tier on an effect that hits the entire enemy team, that's not on an ultimate weapon or a gear C ability, is so good. So good. I wish I had a copy of this for this guild battle. It'd make it more fun. I'd be more likely to do the win team if I had this option, but I don't. So it is what it is. It's hilarious to me that even like there will be teams that use the new Sephiroth outfit and banner, obviously. Like this is still very good. But it's amazing to me that he might not even be on most players' teams for their win builds. Just because like the win potency thing is still a problem. You still have to have you have to have everything, man. You gotta have Noble Parasol OB10, you gotta have Chevron Blade at OB10, you gotta have Barrett's ultimate weapon, you gotta have, you know what I mean? That's a lot, dude. That's a lot.
Ooh, shiny.
Sephiroth, thanks so much for the $10 super chat.
1,908 super chats at $10. Thanks for the support. Love your videos and enthusiasm for Ever Crisis and Final Fantasy, but usually don't catch your lives, so thank you.
I appreciate that, Sephiroth. Thanks so much. I appreciate the $10 super chat. Thanks for the support. I appreciate it. It's like I said, the main reason why I do this stuff is because it's fun for me. I just enjoy it, man. So I'm glad that folks are coming around and finding me and I also enjoy it too. And I'm excited. I am super excited to share Revelation with y'all. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I know that there are gonna be a lot of people who probably avoid, you know, watching streams because of like wanting to play it themselves. But yeah, I'm really excited to share it with y'all, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, in a way, it's definitely. I think they play well together because they both have effects that benefit the other, right? So like right now, Vincent's best win build before Chrome Death Penalty was him using Transgressor and then Stormwind Short Barrel in the offhand for like the stat buff debuff that would just give him more win potency. Now with Chrome Death Penalty, he gives the entire team win weapon boost with the stat debuff tier down, which is also really strong. That stat debuff tier down actually works with Sephiroth's physical defense down, which is awesome. Then with Vincent's build, he didn't have access to Enfeeble, which now this gun gives Enfeeble. They were having a healing problem on that team, so this one has HP gain. And like, they kind of play well together, right? And like, yes, the Cerulean Sky does more damage because of the heart customization, and that is a fact. But Sephiroth also doesn't have physical weapon boost or exploit weakness with this build. And Vincent does. So I actually think their damage is pretty comparable. And I think that this is going to continue to happen, just so we can kind of set the expectation now. We are going to see them continue to make alternatives to what we already have. And they're going to continue to do that. And the major reason for that is because they want there to be other builds so that creativity can thrive, right? And where I tell you that like Sephiroth and Vincent play well together, and that is a fact. Like those two play on the same team and can play on the same team with their current win builds as it is today. They absolutely can. And I think that Vincent only gets replaced in that team if you need help killing the ads, and that's where Cloud's going to come in. And Cloud replaces Vincent way more than Sephiroth replaces Vincent. This weapon does what your team needs with the physical attack increase all allies, and you still get the win weapon boost, and it's only from one weapon instead of Vincent needs two to do physical wind and win weapon boost. Cloud's got it all together in one. So this weapon is way more threatening to Vincent's spot on that team than Sephiroth's is. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, and to keep in mind too that Vincent's is more than just the wind team too, right? Like his fire and earth weapon boost, these are still good effects. The fire weapon boost is less useful because I think we have this on like 4 weapons now. It's 3 or 4. It's a lot. We have fire weapon boost on a lot of weapons now. But Earth Weapon Boost is only on 2 things, right? It's on Tifa's and Cloud's limited weapons. Tifa was a limit break weapon and Cloud was a crossover. So like this Earth Weapon Boost is really, really important. So he'll still have a spot on teams for sure. For sure. And that's that debuff tier, I'm telling you, that will be important. Like right now, the only way to get your stat debuff tier down is from a Braxis, which is an ultimate weapon too that most people don't have. Not all people, but most people don't have. And then the outfit for Zack, which I imagine most people do have, but like even that is limited. Like you can only use it so much. Where Vincent's just reapplicable. You can just continue to use this over and over and over again and get debuff tiers down to extra high. This is huge. Like that is huge. I think we'll see 1680 before we see 2000. What you see with the heart customization, I think you'll see on regular weapons before we see 2000. Because remember that when we went up to 1340, we only went from 1128 to 1340. That was not a massive jump, right? And then they added heart customization, which increased it from 1340 to 1680. I think we'll see 1680 as a base damage far sooner than we'll see 2000. Like far sooner. But yeah, no, I definitely believe that Vincent is still very, very strong, especially on the win team. I think he's very, very strong. I don't think that there's a world where where Sephiroth replaces him 1-to-1. It'll be Cloud on the AoE stages. But yeah, I imagine most of the top builds will be using Vincent and Sephiroth with Barret. I think we'll probably be that top tier team. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like right now, there are only a couple weapons that even have that heart customization. So having like that 1680 be the standard is way more likely. Then with heart, it might go up to 2000, but I think we're more likely to see it go up to like the 1900 range. Will be more likely, in my opinion. But that 1340 to 1680 was a bigger jump than I thought it would be too. So who knows? Maybe. But right now, Gear C abilities are only doing 2000 damage. So to have the weapons eclipse those already after Gear C abilities just dropped in October, that would be pretty surprised. Although 1340% also dropped in September, so maybe not, but we'll see. Yeah, and that's I genuinely believe that, right? But like, if you go back to the video where I talked about Vincent's outfit, I told people then that Zack's outfit was way better than Vincent's. The fact that all of his buffs were selfish, like self buffs, was a huge weakness for that outfit. And so like his wind build was not good. And I say good in the sense of like, you know what I mean? It is very good. It gives him the damage. But like he was definitely in a rough spot. This is only his first Omni Arcanum, right? I don't think he's gotten an Omni Arcanum before. So he needs another one. Right now he's only got the one. So like he's already behind the 8 ball when it comes to like overall DPS compared to the other attackers. And then when they gave him a wind outfit, that was I was hoping it was going to be the physical alternative to Zack's. They just made it completely selfish and only work on him, and it was a mid to extra high, I think. So he needed to cast it twice to get to the +4, which is just like, man, that's just all negative stuff. That sucks. Like, The weapon's good. Like Transgressor's really good, and it's still really strong. And with this new gear, the 60% boost damage that he gets, and now you're getting the 35% elemental boost with the stat buff debuff tier down and gear C ability use plus, like all of that combined together means Vincent is doing an assload of damage. Like Sephiroth is going to deal comparable damage, but it's going to be pretty close how much damage they both deal. It's pretty, and I think with this being 60%, I think Vincent still outdoes. Pretty sure. Yeah, that 1.5 anniversary one was an Ice Arcanum. Yeah, the only reason why I got that was actually the first and only time I got a 12 stamp in this game. I got a 12 stamp on Sephiroth's banner. Yeah, crazy. That was a long time ago. What, 15 months ago? I haven't gotten a 12 stamp since. I haven't gotten a 12 stamp since. Yeah, it was one of the first 50% Arcanums that we saw. With the Tactile Allies. Good outfit. Still really good. Still really good. But yeah, definitely stronger in Fire and Wind right now than he is in Ice, but he's still pretty good in Ice too. It is really cool. I will tell you right now, Steve, I will tell you right now that I am struggling not to pull for it because I think it's very cool too. And I like Vincent as a character, and I think this outfit is sick. But I think I'm probably going to stand tall and just not pull. I'll just get it for the 3.5 anniversary voucher and just wait. It's okay. It's fine. Yeah. Oh gosh. I actually haven't done anything with my Chocobo farm in a long time. I just kind of have it haphazardly farming the materia materials that I run out of the most, which I think are the blue, purple, and like the night one. Yeah, night for sure I usually run out of quickly. Dawn I run out of quickly. I think the other one's dusk. Yeah, or evening rather. This one I run out of quickly too. Yeah, but like I said, I've only gotten the one. And then the Cloud Noble Parasol banner, we got really lucky with stamps. What did we get? Like 2 3s, a 5, and a 2. Like, that was wild. So that would cost you 24,000 crystals. Man, that red 13 ultimate weapon is really, really strong. I think if you have his pirates, if you have red 13 investment, like in general, like, and I mean investment, like you have enough to like kit him out with like gears, you know what I mean? So if you've got a couple of gears to equip him, I think it might be worth it. That ultimate weapon is very strong, like very, very strong. And right now, the thing that's holding me back is I only have like 2 real outfits for red 13. And one's just buff, debuff, extension, and heal. And the other one is like, this is just the free one that we got for the Dragon Quest event, which is not like, it's not a bad outfit, but it's certainly not a good one, right? Yeah, I think overall, if you've got some investment in red 13, that ultimate weapon is really good. But yeah, you have to, if you're making that judgment call today, I think that you have to come to terms with the fact that the next time a red 13 banner comes out, you have to pull on it. Which, like, if you're okay with that, then that's totally fine. Because it's not like he gets banners that often. Don't have his loveless guy. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. The loveless one wasn't even that good, to be honest. It only recently got better because they gave it physical target damage received up, and even then, this is not that good. It's not. Yeah, and Vincent's featured pool is actually pretty good, Steve. It's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah. I think I'd probably, like, because you've got until the end of this week, right? Or the next update, I mean, before all of these go away. I think that's 24th. Yeah, it's 24th for the Vincent one. Yeah. So I think I would give it a couple of days, noodle on it, kind of come to terms with the fact, like, you'd be willing to pull on the next Red 13 banner regardless of what it is. But yeah, that's kind of me. Yeah, that's where I'm at too. It's a coin flip. I definitely think his ultimate weapon is really strong. I don't think it's difficult for Red 13 to make his way onto teams, but an AoE Torpor and an AoE Gear C ability use plus with ATB gauge up as well, on top of it being an 80% boost, by the way, for Torpor, which is really high. But then you're getting on top of all of that a 40% boost to your damage, so it's a full Arcanum to your entire team with bonus potency buffs and bonus debuffs, and Red's really good at debuffing. Like, really good at debuffing. The only thing he's not good at debuffing is Earth. But he can debuff max or -3 on every single other element. This is a really, really good ultimate weapon for Red 13. But you're right. I think that the lack of support makes it difficult. That's why I understand that more people are probably worried about the habit than they are about the actual weapon itself. I was surprised to see how many people were upset about the ultimate weapon for Red 13 running short. I didn't think that many people were using Red 13 at all. So I understand that, like, it's probably the fact that it's happening versus the weapon itself. But yeah, I didn't think that many people were that passionate about Red 13. That caught me off guard on Wednesday afternoon, or Wednesday evening rather. Oh, but yeah. I love this game, dude. Game's fun. I'm excited to see what they do with it going forward. I hope they continue to do fun stuff. Like I said, I want more creativity in the game. You know what I mean? I want to be able to flex around and use like imperil teams and use, like, you know, different boost and bonuses and stuff. I want to see some more alternatives. You know, things like the 2 different ice weapons that do very similar things. I want to see more stuff like that. It'd be more fun. Yeah, I don't think, I sincerely doubt that. You would see an obvious sign of EOS before we are nowhere near needing to be worried about end of service. There are still 5-figure players in this game. Like, this game is nowhere near end of service. Nowhere close. Yeah, there's no way. I don't buy it at all. And don't get me wrong, like I mentioned before, I'm not perfect. I could be wrong, but I have played a lot of Square Enix mobile games over the past like 10 plus years. And the other ones, when they went down, we knew that they were going down. Like, there was not I'm certain that this, no. It was obvious. It was like, oh God, yeah, the game's gonna stop, huh? Yeah, we're done. This is the end. Yeah, and they're not gonna do that. Plus, this game still gives money, right? Like, regardless of what we believe is success when it comes to these gacha games, we don't know how much money it costs to maintain the servers. We don't know how much money they're paying their teams to continue making outfits and like maintaining the game. We don't know how many people are even on this team that they have to pay salaries for, and they have, you know what I mean? There's so many variables involved with like the owning and operating and shutting down of a game that is a live service game. With this in particular, that we know nothing when it comes to that information. So like, there's no way that anybody could say with any amount of confidence that they can't say with any more confidence that it's shutting down than I can say that it's not. So that, from my perspective, I'm just going to keep having fun with the game that is out and is playable and is fun. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, even Opera Omnia I thought was not as much of a surprise as the rest of the community did. There were people, like the people who were making content around Opera Omnia stopped making content. There were people who were playing the game for like years that had quit. Like there were still some writing on the wall, but Opera Omnia did not have a strong player base. Where like this has we may not have the player base in global that people think that we should, but there is definitely a strong player base for this game in Japan. Like Japan, there are way more Japanese players than there are global. So even when this game shuts down, inevitably, because it does, like all live service games will eventually shut down, right? But even when this game shuts down, I don't think the Japanese servers will. I'm pretty confident they won't. Yeah, Opera Omnia was fun. It was fun. I didn't play it for very long because at the time, that was more of I was working too much and I didn't have time for Opera Omnia at the time. This game came out right as I got unemployed, so it was perfect. I got laid off a couple months before that, and I was like, all right, hey, something to distract me, let's go. Because I got into the beta in July, so I got to try it early, which was super cool. Yeah, it was fun, man. Yeah. Good game, man. And that's what I mean. Like, you'll know. you'll see like this Vincent outfit that's currently in the banner. You'll see banners or outfits like this being sold in the shop for like 25 bucks. And that's when you need to start getting worried. When you start seeing this outfit in the shop for 20 bucks, that's when you need to start being concerned. Then you can start being worried that end of service announcement might be coming. Until that happens, you don't have anything to worry about. You'll be fine. It's not going anywhere. Yeah, there is. I think that when this game inevitably gets shut down, global will get shut down first before Japan does. There's no reason for them to do that right now because obviously global still exists and there's still, like I said, there's still a 5-figure player base in this game. There's no way they're shutting this game down tomorrow. Like, there's just too many players in this game and there's too many people still spending money in this game. Right? Like at least over 100 people that are still obviously spending money in this game. So from my perspective, I don't expect this to be something that goes away tomorrow at all. But Record Keeper, Final Fantasy Record Keeper got shut down in global, I think like 5 years ago now, something like that. It was a while ago. It was a while ago. I don't remember exactly when it shut down, but the Japanese servers are still up. You can still play Record Keeper right now in Japan. So they've done it before. So if this game is still popular in Japan and it still gets love in Japan, they'll keep playing it. They'll keep it running. As long as the people keep paying and keep playing and having fun, like they've proven in the past that they'll continue to do that. So, but like I said, with games like Opera Omnia and stuff like that, the player base had dwindled and like no one was talking about the game anymore. You still have like I see videos on my recommended feed of people that I've never even seen before that are playing Ever Crisis right now. So I'm not worried about Ever Crisis at all. And I don't think anybody should be. Potentially. Yeah, potentially. I mean, again, we don't know how much it costs to keep the servers going either, right? They're obviously not that great. So I can't imagine they're that expensive, right? Like, how often does the guild battle lag? Oh, right, every single one. So they're not that good. Comic-Con, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Happy Saturday. Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun. I was talking about that before, like a battle arena type thing. I think that would be fun. What game did that? It was Pokemon Masters that has a thing like that where you have like there were three fights, and then once you cleared the 3 fights, it would wipe it, and then you couldn't use any of the teams or any of the Pokemon that you used for any of those 3 fights, and you can keep going, and you earned more rewards the more like teams that you built. Obviously, you couldn't do characters like that in Ever Crisis specifically, not to that level. But like if you did it like you would recommend it, where it's like 5 rounds and you can't use like the same weapons for each one, and you can kind of like split out all of the different like options, that would be super fun. It'd be super fun. Yeah, that's what I mean, right? We have new people joining the game constantly. So especially with all the hype around Revelation, that's going to bring the player base back up again. They're going to do a crossover event just like they did with Rebirth. And when Rebirth had the crossover event, we saw the player base go up in Ever Crisis. You got to keep in mind, like if you went through and like I know some people look at like the mobile dollar data, which is not always accurate, by the way. So don't read that as law. But like they were looking at this data and they were just like, oh, well, things were so much higher back then. And like, look how much it spiked here. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, it spiked here because they had a crossover with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth before Rebirth came out. And then it spiked here because they had a crossover with Monster Hunter, which is Capcom's best-selling franchise. Like, yeah, of course there was going to be some crossover and there was going to be some people coming into the game that had never played it before and that were going to spend a little money to have some fun with it, to enjoy the event, right? And that event was actually pretty good overall. At least I thought it was. Fighting the Rathalos and stuff, I thought that was super fun. But like, most of the spikes up that you see in the dollary dues in this game, were all obvious. It's like Anniversary, crossover with Final Fantasy VI, crossover with Dragon Quest, crossover with Monster Hunter. You know what I mean? And then even like Nier and Final Fantasy 13, we saw the player base go up again, right? So they know what they need to do to get people to come play this game, and it will continue to pull in new players even long after we all stop playing. I'm sure there will be new players joining this game as long as it's open. PvP could be interesting. Yeah, it could be interesting. I'm not sure how exactly they would do it, but it could be interesting for sure. I don't know how much I'd play it, to be honest. Would I be into that? Probably. It becomes too much of a pay-to-win thing for PvP, right? I think if they made it so that all of the weapons went to like a certain overboost, like maybe they just pushed all weapons to OB10, and like you kind of like how Pokemon does, right? Where Pokemon like puts everything down at level 50, and so like you can't have a level 100 Pokemon against a level 50 Pokemon. Everybody's got to be at the same level. I think if they found a way to even the playing field and made it more about your ability to play the game versus the amount of weapons that you have available, I think it could be very fun. I don't know that that's how they would do it, but I think that's how I would prefer it to be. Makes more of a challenge. Yeah, absolutely. I love that that gauntlet in Pokemon Masters. That was actually what kept me into the game for a while in Pokemon Masters. I loved that. It was super fun. I don't play Pokemon Masters as much anymore. I kind of lost my interest because everything was just, they was just becoming bigger numbers, and it just, you know, wasn't for me. But game's fun. Yeah, play Pokemon Masters. Yeah. Yeah, the specific laws around like gachas and like, you know, which one's considered, you know, actual gambling and which one's not, and you know, yeah, I get it. It's tough. It's a tough situation because like I don't really view my time spent in Ever Crisis or any gacha game as like a gambling experience because I don't gamble with my money. Like if I put money into Union Cross back in the day, because I used to put money into Union Cross, it was because it was enhancing my fun with the game. I didn't care what resources it gave. I was just trying to support the game and have some more fun because I wanted to be logged on for longer. So I would get like the VIP pack and, you know, just to have a little bit more fun, have some more content to clear, so I'd have another reason to stay logged into the game because I was just having that much fun with the game. And honestly, if I was still making my old salary, I would probably be putting money into Ever Crisis too, because I've been having enough fun with Ever Crisis to do that. I would definitely be putting money into Persona 5. That game I love. Don't get me wrong, that's not a negative to Ever Crisis, but Persona 5 The Phantom X is a insanely fun free-to-play game that is way better about their monetization. So I would absolutely put money into P5X if I had it. Yeah, and then we got Hatsune Miku next week too. It's gonna be fun. I think that they should have more guild events. I do think that that's something that they're missing out on. I think if they had something where it was just like a damage ranking challenge, but it was for your guild, like specifically your guild, and then you lock anybody from being able to like guild hop, I think that would be super fun. Super fun to have like a guild based competition where it's just for, you know, the reward difference isn't that big or anything. I think that would be super fun. Yeah, it'd be super cool. It'd be super fun. But yeah, I think that there's a lot that they could do with the guilds that they haven't yet. That isn't this constant like PvE thing is like, yeah, it's kind of stale at this point, right? Yeah. But it would also be a cool way for the top guilds to be able to flex their accounts, right? Give you an opportunity to show off your damage, show off your builds, do your thing, do your min-maxing. It'd be fun. Plus, it's another way to just give some rewards for people just for participating in the game, right? But I even said like something simple like the gold saucer we've been talking about since like the half anniversary for like mini games. Obviously, they don't want to put Queen's Blood in this. I don't think. I think they're trying to make it so that Queen's Blood is like a remake thing, which is fine. But like anything at all to like keep players in the game that doesn't cost stamina, that doesn't cost gems or crystals rather, that they can just play and have fun. Like have them have a reason to log in. There should be more of that in Ever Crisis than there is. But even like, for an example, we haven't seen a Crisis dungeon in over a year, I think. Or like, we haven't seen a new Crisis dungeon in ages. And so like, they continue to like give you these, and we get the Crisis medals from dungeon rankings, I think, which is fine. But like, this is just okay now. Like, we could have this updated and have some better stuff in here, which would be fun, and just release some more Crisis dungeons. Fashion show would be fun. That's true. That'd be fun. You could even have Madam M be the person that's like in there doing the show, or Andrea be one of the people doing the show. That would be super cool. You put Andrea in the game. People would be pretty hype about that. You do it at the Bumblebee Inn. How sick would that be? Like, and you do it with your transmogs and stuff. How fun would that be? That's what I mean though. There's so many little things they could do to keep the game going. And you know, and truth be told, like there are certain things I emailed in a couple months ago where I had said like, man, there's certain things like just improving the stamp card that I think would make players super happy. And like right now, this is one of the things I asked for. Like me specifically, I wrote in and asked for this. I'm not saying that they added this because of me, but I said if there was just one 5-star guarantee in that second row, it would make it so much easier to stomach going through that second row to the outfit. And they added it within like 6 weeks of me emailing it. Like that feedback form, they are listening to people's feedback as long as it's constructive and not, you know, dickhead. They are listening. Yeah, I really want them to expand more on the characters too. I love those character stories. They're super fun. The 4 that we had previously were all really good. And then I like the Zach one too. It's super fun. I didn't even look at what the gear exchange was for this one. Gear metal exchange. Which one is it? Oh, it's this one. Right? Is it? Yeah, 1,000 days, okay. What we got? Oh, it's just weapon parts. Oh, no, it's a voucher, okay. Oh, right, and the voucher specifically is for, I remember now. I remember now. And this is basically like the 2.5 anniversary gear voucher. Man, it's a shame I don't want to pull on any of these banners. That's actually a really good voucher. That's a really good voucher. Bummer. That's at least a positive for folks too, if they've been pulling on this stuff. That's cool. I think all of them have that, don't they? No, Vincent's didn't. Yeah, that's sick. I'm always a big save it till you need it kind of guy. I haven't used my 2.5 anniversary gear voucher either, and this is the same exact voucher. I haven't used this yet, even though I'm like 99% certain that I'm gonna use it on the Ghost Ensis outfit. The Ghost Robe. I haven't decided yet because I've seen a lot of builds that have been using Surfer Look as a sub gear for the extra physical attack up, and then giving Zach the army of 1 so that he can get physical attack to +5. I've seen this a lot on like top tier builds, and I'm considering getting Surfer Look for that reason. But I'm still pretty confident I'm going to end up getting Ghost Robe just to help with my Earth teams, because this is a really good outfit for Earth builds. Will it be forever? Probably not, but like nothing in this will, right? But yeah, that's kind of what I'm between with the 2.5 anniversary gear voucher, and that's again the same outfits there. So that's where I'm at with it. I think I'm probably just saving it, but I'm between Surfer Look and Ghost Ensis. Hey, that's totally fine, man. I mentioned this a lot of times on stream, and that doesn't always make it into my YouTube videos, but I mentioned a lot on stream that the best thing to do in Ever Crisis and in any gacha game is when you have a resource and you want something, just get it. Like, these games are not forever. You know, not every game is going to turn into League of Legends or Fortnite or, you know, what, name your other Rocket League, right? Name your other live service game that's free to play that you can just pick up and play today. Like, these gacha games are not going to last like that. Generally speaking, that's not always. Some of them have stood the test of time, but like, you know, I certainly don't believe that this is end of servicing anytime soon, but I would play around it like it is, because like you may as well just have fun with the game, right? It's not going to end. It's not, if you don't get to get a high placement on one banner or one event because you didn't save your gear voucher and you could have exchanged it for Ghost Robes and got the, you know, Surfer Look instead, and you're like, oh man, if I just like, yeah, but you got the thing that you wanted, right? So you're happy. That's all that matters. It's a game, right? We have fun when we play video games. That's all I care about. You know, I give the feedback of like what I think about it when it comes to like, you know, building a roster out, and in terms of the power level that it increases your account, you know, and I'll give that information off, but I always say that if you like it, just pull for it. Hell, what's the one outfit that I pulled for that I had no intention of ever using? Oh, the feather style for Tifa. The feather's down for Tifa. I had no intention of ever using this. I told everybody in the community that there was no reason to pull for it. It wasn't even that good. The effects that it gave were not useful at all. It's just HP and debuff, buff debuff extension. But I liked the outfit, man. I thought this was cute. I was like, this is a good look. I like this outfit. It's clean. It looks sick. And so I pulled it anyway. I pulled it anyway. And then they gave it a Gear C ability. So it ended up working out for me anyway. So not gonna hear me complain. Yeah. Well, and that happens in every gacha game. It happens in Persona 5 too. There was somebody in a live stream chat for the Miku like character reveal that was just bitching in the live chat, like complaining about how like the game is like not going in the direction that they want it to, and that they haven't been listening to the player base and blah 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 blah. You guys realize something? That like we haven't heard anything from the Ever Crisis team with like a roadmap or anything since 2nd anniversary. Not a peep, right? Not a peep. We have to try to like find it on Twitter at 2 o'clock in the morning, like 2 o'clock Eastern in the morning. And then they like post something the day before that gives us an idea of what we're expecting next. Persona 5 the Phantom X and Sega do a stream, like a full stream, going over all of the patch and what to expect from the patch, what they're expecting like going forward, the next stuff coming up. They constantly are communicating with their player base, constantly. Repeatedly they communicate with their player base. They're giving like sneak peeks and previews and like talking about the future, and like anniversary has been going on in P5X for 2 months. 2 months. We've had 2 months of lead up to that 2nd anniversary, or the 1st anniversary. And they pay voice actors to host the stream. Yeah, and it's a fun stream to watch too. And that's subjective. You may not like it, but like I like it. I think it's fun. I think that and the one voice actor that voices Tomoko in the game, she just likes the game. And you can tell she likes the game because she says things that players would know. Like, and she says it confidently in a way that says that she plays this game constantly. Game's fun, man. And like, don't get me what I'm not saying. I love Ever Crisis, but like, you can't tell me that there's no communication with Persona 5 the Phantom X because I play Ever Crisis. Don't tell me they don't talk to you because, bitch, I haven't heard a peep. I haven't heard a peep from the Ever Crisis team since what? August of last year? Yes, I agree. I think that in January or December, somewhere in there, we'll likely get a roadmap for 2nd or for 3rd anniversary. And then I bet at the end of 3rd anniversary, we'll get a roadmap detailing when the Revelation crossover would be. And then we'll see if they keep up the pace with that. And maybe to their credit, right? And I'm a very patient man, so I don't really care at the end of the day. Maybe they've been prepping for this the whole time. So, oh yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm in the unofficial one too, but they absolutely have an official Discord. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Can I pull a link up to it? Let's stay here. It's just easier to do this. Screen display. Yeah. This one here. One with the green check mark. FF7 Ever Crisis. Yeah, this has like the whole thing, a whole kit and caboodle. They have all their game news and everything. This pulls directly from the game and pulls all the game news, so you don't have to log into the game to see it. They have the actual Ever Crisis post for all the Twitter posts and stuff like that. You can like automatically retweet and stuff like that too. But yeah, they have a whole. This is the whole thing. They have the different languages too. You can do feedback through the Discord as well. You can even do server feedback. So there's multiple ways to do feedback too. And this is the official Ever Crisis Discord. Yeah, can I just do this? No, it just pulls up my list of friends. That doesn't help. Yep. But yeah. Yep. I forget when they told everybody about that. It was early on though, so it was before you started playing Alder. That's probably why. But they've had this Discord around the time they launched it for Steam, I think, is when they launched the Discord. So it's been a while. Yeah, that's the thing, right? And that was the point that I was trying to make before I got myself distracted. I apologize. But like, the truth is they could be working on something massive to coincide with Revelation. And remember that Nomura and Katase are involved in Ever Crisis, and like they are probably like, I don't know better way to say, they're probably like super busy when it comes to like the release of this game that comes out in the beginning of next year. I know they're not like the director and like, you know what I mean, but they are still heavily involved in that project. that like Ever Crisis is kind of taking a back seat while they're trying to get that thing to gold so it can release, right? So that's why I've been very patient with this. I'm not very concerned about Ever Crisis. I think it's just taking a back seat for the major project to get completed. And to be honest, it was kind of taking a back seat around the time Rebirth came out too. The only big thing that we got was Monster Hunter. Like everything else was just like, it was just a couple banners here and there. And like some of the events were pretty fun. Don't hear me what I'm saying. Like some of the events had some like decent, like unique stories, which was cool. But like most of it was just kind of like there. It was okay. It was fine. The events were okay. The banners were bad, if I'm being honest. Most of them had like weapon abilities as our abilities. Like we only pulled on Arcanums back then. So at least now, like every featured banner that we've seen so far this year have been at least pullable. We may not think that they're very strong comparatively, but like they've at least been pullable. None of them have had like just only R abilities or weapon R abilities, which is nice. But yeah, if you told me that they are like full on trying to like make something big for Ever Crisis, it's just as likely as it shutting down in 3 weeks. Because they just don't communicate with us, so we just don't know. So hopefully they do get some more communication with us though, because we've got like what, it's only 2.5 months now until 3rd anniversary. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, it does. It does. It does make too much sense. I agree. I think it would be super cool. This is just me personally, right? I think it would be super cool if you could have like certain outfits, if you connected your Ever Crisis account to your Revelation playthrough, that you could just have the outfit in Revelation. How cool would that be? Like, I don't know if they're able to do that, but like Pokemon does that crap all the time. Like with the Nintendo account and the Pokemon accounts, and it just all links together. Like that would be sick. I'm asking for way too much there, but like, man, that would be sick. Yeah, I agree. I think they've got a lot of opportunities to like really make something out of this. And again, all of this to say, like, again, it's just as likely that the end of service thing is real, but like, I just don't buy it. I just don't buy it. There's too much evidence like contradicting end of service that I'm not even remotely concerned. Not at all. Yeah. Oh man. Well, I need to stretch my shoulder something fierce, so I should probably call it here. But I appreciate the fun conversation today, y'all. I appreciate y'all hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I will be live again tomorrow over on Twitch. We're going to be playing some more Final Fantasy 13 for folks that are interested. And if Twitch isn't your thing, you don't have to worry about it. I will have the VOD here on YouTube eventually, usually within a week or two. I put it up on YouTube. So if you're not interested in watching over the Twitch stream, that's absolutely fine. But we will be live tomorrow playing some Final Fantasy 13. We'll be playing Final Fantasy 13 tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then on Monday, we'll be playing at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, which I know is late for our EU folks. But again, if you can't make it for the stream, I will have it up on YouTube eventually, usually again within the week. But I appreciate y'all being here. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for spending some of your weekend with me. And yeah, I appreciate it. Ooh, that's actually something too, Steve. They might do a crossover with Resonance too, right? I don't see a reason why they wouldn't. That'd be fun. Do a Memoria that's like a pixel art thing. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Yeah, cheers, Sephiroth. And thanks again for the super chat. I appreciate it. But yeah, I appreciate y'all being here. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, we'll see you again in the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.